I'm gonna go ahead and upload this to YouTube, so feel free to wave and say hi to YouTube. We have you on screen.
Amazing.
Hey everybody, just pausing here for a second. This is Sand from the future. And by future, I mean very, very future. This was filmed 6 months ago, live on my Twitch, link below. I'm actually going to be coming back to streaming starting next Friday with a bunch of fun surprises. So I'd love to see you there. But I just wanted to give a little bit of context for this video. Salt was super, super kind to be here for 3 hours with me. So I hope you enjoy the ride. If you check the description below, I also have links to their channel and chapters, so that way you can go ahead and skip to whatever reactions you want to see. But yeah, I just wanted to do overall, this is Salt's first time reacting to K-pop. They had a really, really good time. I will say that I'm not an expert on all groups, so I may have misspoke at certain times. There's a couple of people in here where I'm not as familiar with the group, so I couldn't speak as well to them. But, I had chat to help me out, so if you want to join in and chat in the future, like I said, make sure to join Twitch. But just a general disclaimer that we are all just having fun here and enjoying all the music. So yeah, I hope you enjoy.
So today we have a bunch of songs that I like that are K-pop adjacent. Some of these aren't. One of these, the first one is kind of K-pop. So Salt actually knows a little bit of K-pop because I made him a playlist that I was like, this is about as prog rock as K-pop can get, which isn't very, but it kind of was like a little bit, right? Like it had some awesome elements.
No, I loved that. That was my favorite thing. Sand being, as knowledgeable in music as you are, she was like, hey, I'm going to give you like a gateway that makes sense for you and give you stuff that's like experimental production wise and does interesting stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'm down. And yeah, that playlist is great. There's quite a few tracks that I come back to in there from time to time as well. I can't remember names to save my life, but I have flipped through that quite a few times. And I recognize them now when I hear them on your stream, or if I hear them on, say, Wiki stream. Shout out Wicked Bastard.
Shout out Wicked Bastard. Stream on Sunday, by the way. She's making her return.
I can't wait for Sekiro Sunday to return. Or is it Onion Ring Sunday?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm so excited for that too. I'm very excited for you to hear some of these. I tried to pick ones that I haven't played on my stream or haven't played on Wiki stream. Cool. So hopefully you haven't heard these before, fingers crossed. I think even if you have, it probably was like in passing enough that it doesn't matter.
I have the power of ADHD brain, so if I wasn't actively listening, did it actually happen?
Right. Okay, so I mean, we can just kind of get started. Salt and I yap a lot, by the way.
Absolutely.
If you are new to either of us, we both be yapping. So I picked 10 to 11 songs. Who knows how many we'll actually get through with how long it takes for us to like yap, you know?
Absolutely. Now, I guess a couple things just to set some ground rules. Do we want to do this? Do we want to do this true K-pop style where I just stop the song halfway through to give comments before we continue the song? Because that's the thing that is. So if I can just make a quick comment, and this is not a shot at K-pop, but it is a confusing thing for someone from outside. I'm not used to watching performances of songs where they just stop the song for 10 seconds to show somebody else's thought about the song before going back to the song. That is probably one of, if there was a cultural disconnect that I've struggled with, is me going, but the song, give me the rest of the song. I would love to hear what people have to say. Let me hear the song. Anyway, I'm done. Press the play button. If I need to stop, I'll be like, hey, can we pause for a sec?
Oh my gosh.
I'm really excited for this.
Wait, that's Miji. Hi, Miji. Also, Texas, hello. Thank you so much for the 9 months. We have a sub baby. What's its name? I hope that everybody enjoys the K-pop education. But yeah, what Salt's talking about, if you haven't picked up, if you're a K-pop fan, is the Kingdom performances where they would do like about 10 seconds of like the Stray Kids song. And then they would pause and show everybody backstage going, oh, ah, crazy. That kind of stuff. So, you're welcome to do that if you want. Part of why I'm sharing it in Discord is so you can see we're seeing the same thing at the same time, but also if you do want to pause, rewind, You just let me know. I'll do what I need to on my end. I got Woo Young holding a sign that says, "That's my friend." Yes. Perfect. And then I know. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I will do my best to not talk over it too much, but I feel like there will be moments where something will get my thoughts.
Yeah. This first song especially, I'm gonna preface it by saying it's not exactly K-pop. This guy BEOMHAN, he used to be a K-pop trainee. A lot of stuff happened with his company. It's a good thing that he's not even with that company anymore. They were not like supportive of him or anything like that. So I will say this is all not self-produced, but he wrote this song by himself. He choreographed it by himself. Like, this is him. Like, this is like a bare bones operation, like scraping together money to try and get something out there.
Cool. So this is like as close to like indie K-pop as we
literally, yeah. It's all in English too. So
rad. All right, let's do it.
All right. You know what would help is if I did.
I'm still muted. Yeah.
It's because I was watching you in the pre-stream. And I was like, maybe we shouldn't listen to Salt during this. Anyways, there you go.
Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Reset it because it was muted on my side. We're still figuring out the stuff. Run it back one more time.
Yeah.
I can now hear it.
Okay.
Lately you've been acting kind of strange. Stories you've been telling start to change.
All right.
There's a reason why specifically I went ahead and picked this as the first one.
All right, moves are sick.
Say what's on my mind. It's turned into a fight. Now I know there's something you're not telling me. I see it all behind those eyes. They yell at me. You're up to no good, and my heart's still receiving lies. It's killing me, but
I wasn't expecting it to pull away there. I like that.
Between the lines, my heart has always said
there we go.
And with every beat I could hear your name. Now it's just me, myself, and I, me, myself, and I.
Fitting name for a project he did on his own.
Yeah.
Me, myself, and me, myself, and life changes in the blinking of an eye. When did all the love begin to die?
It's such a minimalist set that they're really making it work.
Yeah.
And now I can't think straight.
Me neither.
I ignore began to break.
Are any of us
struggling to take this kind of way? I'm doing all I can to keep from breaking, but I keep on looking in your eyes. They yell at me.
I really like the way they drop it down like that.
I think it's really cool too, actually.
It's killing me, but I see
it's a really nice subversion of expectation.
My heart has always said you and I. With every beat I could hear your name. Now it's just me, myself, and I, me, myself, and I.
Ooh, a little extra spice on the bass. There it comes.
All I hear is na 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 na. All I hear is na 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 na. All I hear is na 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 na. My heart has always said you and I. With every beat I could hear your name. Now it's just me, myself.
He's using ear candy in this really nicely. Like the actual hi-hat work is very basic, but he's using other ear candy to keep that kind of like motion going.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts on this song, so I'm very interested to hear your final thoughts before we get into that. So I have some additional context to give as well.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So first of all, I dug that a lot.
Okay.
There was some things that I found particularly interesting about it. You know, first things first, knowing that this feels like a little bit indie and he's kind of doing this on his own.
Right.
Or at least a smaller scale than necessarily the higher production values that K-pop I think is kind of known for.
Right.
I think there's something really fascinating about the work that's done, and it really speaks to me as an indie producer because it shows, you know, you don't always need 40 producers in a room to make a banger. You just need to have a very specific and intense and dedicated vision. And the video speaks to that as well. Like the set is basically one set, but the thing that makes it work from the dancing is the choreography, right? It's the interplay between all of the different dancers and the way that like he pulls himself from center stage to put other people up front for a moment to create these really nice visual moments. Also, that was a very diverse dancing cast.
Yeah.
Like
so
yeah.
Sorry, so no. I was gonna say so. Basically, what happened with BEOMHAN, from my whole understanding, I didn't follow it too closely, but he had been a trainee for many years, which means that he was training to become a K-pop star, and then they just kind of kept pushing it back and back, and he had a lot of struggles with his mental health during that time. Not to get too deep, but hospitalized for it. And so after that, they just weren't able to support him the way he needed. They weren't like helping him with paying bills or, you know, staying as a trainee or anything like that. So they broke their contract and they kind of like drug him through the mud. Like it was pretty bad. Even though he really didn't do anything wrong. So he ended up moving back to the States. He's from New York. And did all of this. I want to say New York or LA. I want to say it was LA. He went and said he took intensive dance classes for several months to get all that done, choreographed it himself. All of that kind of good stuff. As soon as he posted that video, it actually kind of went like mini viral in the K-pop community for how badly produced it was.
Oh, so, really? People gave him shit for it being badly produced, really?
Yes, yeah. And I think like a lot of it is just people miss that nuance of not everybody has $1 million to push into a song. Like you are really just working with a bare bones studio to get stuff done at that kind of level. But it was like that bad that he ended up doing a contest for people to reproduce it themselves and remix it
cool.
to do like another version of it. So it's actually very cool. He picked a couple of fan versions to do at a little mini concert he did. So a little extra context there for you.
Yeah. See, I find that so fascinating. And I think that kind of speaks to the music industry just in general, whether that be K-pop or just pop music, right? There's this idea that you need like this huge production crew, but you truly don't.
Right.
And I find it interesting that people say that it's poorly produced and poorly mixed, because I think to me, it's a song that is really about the lyrical content and the beat, right? And it keeps that really driving beat. But if you really listen to it in a good set of headphones, I find here's my hot take. Here's Salt's first hot take of the stream.
We'll get a counter going, yeah.
Yeah, please do. My first hot take of the stream is there's a lot of people who have a lot of critical opinions about music that are listening to it through their really shitty AirPods. People are real quick to judge music and the quality of it when they're listening to it through absolute crap. Put a good set of headphones on, listen a little closer, and I think you'll hear a little bit nicer. You'll hear some better details in that song specifically. Like, yes, the beat is simple. I'm a drummer at heart, and it's a simple 4 on the floor beat to dance to. But where you listen, when you want to listen to drum complexity in pop music, you want to listen to how the beat's being driven, and that comes in the hi-hats. That comes in, the hi-hats, those kind of engine type things. So we had that like, you had those little clicks, right? That gives it that disco beat. But then he had these little high-end ear candies that kind of trickle across your ear, but they're rattling at a 16th note pattern, right? So it's still giving that like hi-hat stumble and giving that extra energy. So the energy and the drive is there. The bass was beautiful. It was mixed fantastically, in my opinion. And then at the end, when he gets to the end to give it a little more energy, the bass gets crunchier. I don't know. I think it's beautifully produced.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think it was really well produced. I think maybe some work on the vocals, but I think Pella said it earlier, like it's kind of nice almost to hear something that's not super processed.
Absolutely. I think, you know, there are a lot of great vocalists that lean on production a little too hard when they already have such a beautiful voice. And I think that there is a beauty and rawness and imperfection that pop music of all kinds tends to try to scrub away, right? And when you think about the pop greats of the 70s, the 80s, even the 90s, like, there was production. Like, let's not pretend autotune didn't exist, but it did. But there was, you know, a desire to allow people's actual personality shine through vocally.
Yeah.
And that I think is really important. And we should come back to that, frankly.
Yeah, I agree. Gib brought up a good point too. It was very harmonically interesting. Deceptive cadence that Salt mentioned, where they defied your expectations, chord progression wise, that make your ears perk up. Yeah, I'd agree with that too.
Absolutely. And that thing that I caught twice, right, where they're building, and you expect it to kind of like burst into a bit of a gentle drop. This is not the music for like a heavy drop, right? But you expect to keep the energy, and he intentionally drops you off the cliff, right? He keeps you for that extra 4 bars, and in fact pulls all the energy and makes you breathe in this like ephemeral moment before hitting you again with the beat. And I think that's a really clever creative choice that I think was very evocative and very effective. Yeah, great track. I liked that one a lot.
I would say that since you like that one, we're only going up from here, to be honest. Like, really, in my opinion, that was definitely like bottom for me in terms of production value. There's one that's specifically that I'm very excited for you to hear, because I consider it to be probably like the best produced song in K-pop technically. Like, when we're talking about just technicalities and like, it's just like diamond cut. Like, it's just up there for me. So I'm very excited. Yeah. It's not this song, it's in a few, but this song was, I don't even know how to explain this one. I was going to say, I feel like Pella would know this one, because this is what set off, from my understanding, like a lot of like fanfics, like all across all fandoms. So
really cool.
Yeah. So this was a big one at the time. Wiki said it's he.
Yes, let's get the energy going.
I did go ahead and picked one that had the lyrics on there, because the original video actually doesn't have an English translation. That way you can at least skip the English version. So
hell yeah, let's do it. Ooh, already nice bass to open.
Yeah.
We like an ear rumble.
This is a really good song. EXO actually got me into K-pop, which is this group.
Yeah. And this is beautiful choreography already. Wild.
단번에 느껴 널 한 입에 치즈처럼 집어넣을 테다
오케이
향기 맡고 색깔 의미하고 와인보다 우아하게 잡아먹을 테다 아무런데 발톱에 힘이 빠져 이마까지 없어져 혹시 내가 아픈 건가 병이라도 걸린 거니
In the background there's that like 80s palm sound that's so cool.
자 안해본 스타일로 적은 보름달이 지기 전에 해치워라 그래 웃 내가 웃 난 느끼고 넌 민요
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
난 느끼고 넌 민요 거부할 수 없이
That gives me Shakira vibe. It reminds me of She-Wolf.
Oh my gosh, you're so right.
내 속에 숨어있던 것이 지금은 떴어
Good layering.
그녀를 좀 봐 공포에 빠져 눈앞의 시츄에이션 이해 못해 저 따라온 늑대 놈이 결국 날 잡아먹겠지 이게 아닌데 사랑에 빠진 겁니다 너무 아름다워 그대 내니만
The synths are filthy. I love it.
나는 특별한 그대 사랑한 내게 너니만 확 묻어 그 다음만 들어 정신을 개
funny because this song is an absolute banger top to bottom.
Yeah.
And the wolf bit is just comical.
It really, really is.
It's so silly.
It's so silly, but it works in the song. Yeah, vocals.
Okay.
This group is like known for their vocals.
Yeah, clearly. Huge wall on the vocals. Huge wall.
지금 눈 떴어
Cool. Very cool.
Please stop.
Oh man, not our internet
Verizon ad. I'm gonna mute it and like pause it. Like we'll skip it while we're hearing your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so production through the roof. Very, very cool stuff. I love that it wasn't afraid to be noisy. I loved the really grimy, dirty sounds in the synths, both in the basses and in the leads. There was no fear of putting a little bit of saw in the sound wave and a little griminess, which was cool. The drums, I thought it was really interesting how this has like a very modern production and really is evoking a lot of like EDM genres and a lot of like noisy genres. But in the background, the drums are so 80s. They're so 80s, right? Like you've got this really, really high produced kick and snare, like this really punchy kick. But in the background, you've got the doom, 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 doom. Like you hear that in a fucking Duran Duran album.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Duran Duran's absolute legends, right? But you'd hear that same kind of like tom sound, that super overproduced synth tom sound. So it's so interesting the way that they're repurposing and repackaging, you know, sounds from 40 years ago now, which is a horrible and terrifying thing to say.
Yeah. I mean, if it helps, that song is 11 years old, so that is an older K-pop song. So
okay, so it was reaching back
closer,
30
yeah,
it was reaching back 30 years rather than 40. But like, you know, everything that's old is new again, and let's not pretend like some of the synths that were invented 40 years ago aren't in everybody's studios to this day. Yeah, lyrically, not feeling this. This was
the lyrics
silly.
were, yeah. I mean, the lyrics, I don't think they were ever popular. So
no,
yeah,
but this is definitely one of those songs that the lyrics are there, right?
Yes.
Like the lyrics are a vehicle for the voice, which is just another instrument.
Right.
They could have probably gotten away with just saying la 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 the whole time with that incredible vocal production. But you know, that's pop music in a nutshell, right? The lyrics are either shockingly deep or extremely vacuous, right? There's no real in between.
The Awu didn't speak to you? Is what Vic's asking?
I mean, it gave me Shakira vibes. I specifically would love to see somebody chop this with She-Wolf, even if it was just for memes.
Oh, that would be so funny.
I would love to see some Shakira Awus chopped in there. I don't think it would be that tough to actually chop it in. I feel like you could do that quite easily and it'd be very funny. But yeah, no, production wise, great. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really paying that much attention to the video this time because my eye, like I was getting so caught up in the wall of sound in my head that my eyes were getting distracted because I was thinking. Like I don't know how to explain that, but it's like when you need to divert all your senses to the direction of the sound you're hearing, even though that doesn't actually help. There is some production technique in the vocals here that actually remind me of a metal musician in the way that he produces his guitars. And you know, not to foreshadow anything, but at some point I would also love to do this in reverse with some other music
please.
That I would love to do across a bunch of genres. And one particular person, although I think you know this artist, but I'm going to try to find a song that you may be a little less familiar with, is an artist by the name of Devin Townsend.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yes, and he's very infamous for that like wall of sound production, where he'll take one track and layer it like 40 times and spread it out across the spectrum just to give this like this feeling like you're just being hit with this impenetrable wall. And there was a moment where there was a big choral voice moment in this where everybody came in and hit a harmonized note, and it was like, yeah, that harmony sounded good, but there was definitely like 10 to 12 copies of everybody's voice. So it just makes this huge bombastic moment. And even like, I think if you watch back on the recording when we look at it, that moment I kind of like did this and my eyes went up because I just felt it. It just felt very effervescent. Yeah, great production, lots of fun. I don't think that this holds any this isn't going to win a Nobel Prize for writing. But production wise it slapped and it was super fun.
So there's actually two things that you brought up that I was going to bring up as well with you. So one thing you mentioned was like the layering and how there's so much layering, specifically in that song, but it happens in a lot of K-pop songs, obviously. One of the songs that we're listening to later on, I was actually watching an interview with the producers. I did research for this, shocking. But they were like, I think the interviewer had been like, man, that must have been crazy for you guys to layer like 6-7 like vocal lines for like different harmonies. Like I was like, no. It was in the hundreds of us just layering things. Like you should have seen us like producing that. So very cool there. And then you mentioned Duran Duran, talking about older stuff. So one thing that a lot of people will say with K-pop music when you're talking about K-pop is that K-pop, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this, borrows a lot of sound from like Western pop music, but it tends to be like behind a few trends. So I'm curious to hear like if you've been hearing that in the first couple of songs or at the end of the night, if you hear that a lot. Because I always seem to think that nowadays they seem to be catching up and have their kind of own unique sound. But something that people say kind of adds to the K-pop sound is that they are, in fact, a few trends behind of Western pop music.
And honestly, I think that's a good thing. I find trends move too quickly. I'm becoming an old man yelling at clouds, but I really do think that sounds and styles, there's so much you can milk out of a sound or a style. Yeah. Right? Like you think about disco, just to name a random genre, but you think about how many absolute disco bangers and the different ways that they approached it and how much we grew out of it. A great example is we wouldn't have Nirvana without disco.
Yeah, true.
And people don't think about that until Dave Grohl fully admitted that half of his drum beats, which he sped up to turn into hard rock beats, were stolen from disco. Right. And straight up. And that, music is going to always inspire. The music that came before always inspires the music that comes later. But I think there's something really fascinating about Western culture being remixed and reflipped that way. And it honestly needs to happen more. Take our stuff and chop the hell out of it, remix it, regurgitate it, and make it something truly yours. I think there's something really fascinating in that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love hearing 90s sound and new K-pop songs. Gives them an instant nostalgia feel with the joy of being a new song, not a song you hear it every day on the radio. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
If and I think that's part of the joy of sampling and part of the joy of when we get interpolations, right? When people take famous things. Now, sometimes it's done well. Other times it's I'm Good ripping off Blue, and that sucks. That's your second Salt hot take of the night. The I'm Good remix that came out 2 years ago, absolute trash. Absolute trash. But there have been some real good ones. And I love it when that happens across musical cultures. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Salt take. It was ass. All right. Well, this song I'm actually very excited for. This is a song I was talking about that I think is one of the best produced K-pop songs, in my opinion. So I'm curious to hear if you agree with me or if you're just like, man, there are definitely going to be some better ones later. I probably should have left this for the end so that way you could have compared it against some of the other stuff we heard. But hey, in the middle is okay.
I'm taking basic notes. We're doing it.
Yeah. And this one is fun. I always like to bring the context of this was going to be their kind of like foray into the American market with this music, was this song. And there's like this huge thing where there was a controversy where Korean fans weren't exactly happy, so they actually boycotted this single. So they actually didn't end up going very far with this song or this album, unfortunately. But so this is kind of a hidden gem, I would say, from NCT, which is one of my favorite groups personally. So
man, the idea of pop boycotts, that blows my mind. That's
it's a huge thing in K-pop culture. Yeah, it's crazy. We haven't even gotten into K-pop culture. We're just starting music videos and music. What does NCT stand for? Neo Culture Technology. So these guys, I've actually sent you a couple of their songs because I would say if you want to talk prog and K-pop, you look at NCT. Like that is where you go to.
I was just saying the name definitely. I'm actually like sneakily pulling up the playlist over here real quick.
Mad Dog is one of my favorites, and I know I put that on the playlist. Yeah,
that literally was number one, and I remember hearing Mad Dog and going, okay, this fucks.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see a less proggy and more we're trying to break out attempt sound. That's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah. Sand has a it's true. I do have a PowerPoint about NCT. They have a very complex history. But yeah, let's get into it. This is called Superhuman.
Let's go. Okay. A lot of these songs start with these really cool soundscape bursts.
Yeah.
Big vocal opening. Oh!
I like that you can already tell why I like it.
Is not afraid to let there be space. The guitar work is real nice in the corners.
This is larger than life vibes for sure, fella.
Oh, that was an interesting chord choice.
Yeah.
That was filthy.
I also want to point out that one of the blonde guys here, when he has his like moment, he's from Toronto.
Cool.
Him, actually, he's from Toronto.
T.Rap. Oh, nice beat switch. So much ear candy in this.
Yeah. This is probably like my favorite part. It's just so cool.
There is so much smart choices in this.
Some way, somehow, 스쳐갔던 꿈들.
I like this too much for it to have actually survived in Western pop world, though.
I know, that's how I felt too. I was like, man, happy it almost didn't make it.
뭐든 될 수 있어 할 수 있어 한계시기만 try 충격을 넘어 소리겠지 엄청나게 나 되고 싶지 네가 먼저 끝을 말하지 않으면 끝이 아닌가
가장 뜨거웠던 그 장면을 맘에 담아
Got me feeling like a super I know I can fly Yeah
There we are.
이 순간 진짜를 봐봐 baby 감춰왔었던 나의 맘에 깨워봐 You say my heart
bam, and out so quick.
Yep. All right. So thoughts. I mean, like I said, that's probably like what I consider to be like top tier producing in K-pop.
That was bold. That was an ADHD brain massage. I have a lot of thoughts and I'm trying to compile them because there's a lot of things all at once. I feel like someone had a lot of fun running through every single effect in their editing software. Cal a little bit, but I think what it is, but the reason why it feels like that, I don't think they went through every single effect, but what they did do was they were so tight and precise in every single chop. And that was the thing I said right off the top. I'm like, oh, they're not afraid to let their song have silence, right? Yeah. So they'll produce a sound and it'll be big, and then they'll just cut the audio, right? So you get these like pulses, like right? And in doing that, you're letting the melody help enforce the beat, even though it's not a rhythm. So you're rhythmically chopping your melodical pieces, and in doing it, it's giving all of this space for every piece to get heard. And they're using the full ear, right? Like there's right at the beginning, there's that little guitar piece that was kind of up in the corner. And that sits in the song at other places, but there's so many layers going on that it's just a little bit of ear candy that kind of sits there. The beat switching, where we have the driving, pulsing 4 on the floor dance beat, and then we move to a little bit more of like a trap inspired beat, and then we pull it all the way back, and we have these big builds. They let the builds kind of half build and then not, and then like there's so many different choices where they kind of pull the rug out from underneath of you, but before it makes you fall on your face, they catch you. So they just give you these rushes. They just give you these rushes of like, oh, but no, we're here. Oh, no, we're here. So you can still dance to it. But the first time you hear it, or even the first couple times you hear it, you're going to be surprised. And I think that's what makes this work so well as a song. But I also think it's why it's a good thing this wasn't the track that they brought to Western audiences, because I don't think this would have survived on North American radio. I used to work for a top 40 station. And I'll admit, that top 40 station had trying to get them to consider to add K-pop to their library, even like BTS was a tall order to begin with. But even still, that was like the safest of it all, right? To have something that's this production wise out there. Like if this dropped around the same time as, say, the era of Skrillex and Deadmau5, they probably could have got away with it. So if it was in that era, I don't know how new or old this song is. But
I know it was 4 years ago, May 2019. Yeah. So way too late. Yeah.
So if this had come say 2014, 2015, when everybody was going, hey, remember when Skrillex was everywhere? We missed that. Then it could have probably had a moment then. But at 2019, I don't think it would have landed.
Yeah.
But that aside, this is a banger. I think this is my favorite of the night so far.
Hell yeah.
The production was off the wall good. The energy was good. It kept me very, very interested the whole way through. Not that the other ones didn't, but every moment like, oh, and a lot of pop music doesn't do that for me anymore. So having that is really nice to see. That was great. Great track.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I guess something else too to kind of bring into the loop, because I told Salt ahead of time, I was like, I have a few discussion points for us to chat about throughout this. Something else to throw into the mix now. So we talked a little bit about how K-pop is influenced by Western trends, tends to be a few trends behind. Something else, I know you and I have talked about it briefly, I think in WikiStream once, is that labels are a huge thing in K-pop. Not a thing in Western music for the most part. I mean, you might know like, oh, Paramore signed to Fueled by Ramen. That's probably the extent of it. You don't really care about the label itself. K-pop, it's a huge thing to be like, I'm an SM fan, I'm a JYP fan, things like that. So people tend to say that they have their own unique sound. So I'm curious to see if you pick up on any of that, or if you see any trends in sounds. I would say that Wolf, which was the one we listened to before that, and Superhuman, these are both from the same label. So
that's very interesting. Okay, that I can hear a little bit. And that's going to be fascinating to think about, because, like, all honesty aside, I here's hot take number 3, although this one's a lukewarm take at best, truly, is I fucking hate labels. I think labels are the worst thing to happen to music. And no disrespect to an industry that I'm not familiar with, but I have certainly in Western society and Western music culture, the thing that has done more damage to the enjoyment and the art of music is large labels. There's nothing of value, and there are some indie labels out there that are good. You mentioned Fueled by Ramen. Fueled by Ramen had its heyday, but even Fueled by Ramen has
gone. Yeah, it was good for maybe the first couple years. Right? Yeah, and then
And like me as a metal fan, I think about like Metal Blade Records or Sumerian, these big labels where sometimes they're good, but other times they make choices that are really, really dicey and really, really sketchy. And I feel like when your art is filtered through a company's requirements for profitability, your art suffers.
Yeah.
Now, it does mean you have access to a ton of tech and you can do really cool shit. And certainly this song, the production was wild. So I guess shout out to the producer team at SM Entertainment. But at the same time, I would love to see these producers, when they aren't attached to a company, just allowed to run free and wild.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like the ads keep trying to make its way into chat. Well, you want to take a little rest break?
Commercial break?
A little commercial break here? Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and run a 3-minute ad if you're not subbed. I hope it's something fun. We'll see you on the other side.
If you're not subbed, there's an easy way to fix that. There's a button there that you can push, and it's going to cost you like $5.99, and then you don't have to look at ads. Don't give corporations money. Give a corporation that's going to steal your money anyway, but also half of it to Sand. Subscribe.
There's the ad going. Good luck.
Amazing.
Yeah, Wiki brought up Luna and Blockberry. That was a really interesting thing as well. They like truly destroyed those girls' career. That was insane. I don't even know the full story. I think Wiki would probably be the best person to explain. Oh my goodness. Vic,
hell yeah.
Thank you for the gifted subs to Puppy, to Handy, T-Roy Jenkins, Dark Virus, and Cal. Let's go. Give Sand money so she can spend it on K-pop corporate merch. It's true. I saw my credit card bill for last month and cried a little bit. But it was on a new credit card, so they gave me $200 cash back, so it's fine.
Hey, we love that.
Thank you, corporate America. The ads got me. No, Miji.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I feel that's a bit of a trick question there, Maggie. For Pella, there's no such thing as a good horror movie. Pella literally said that in chat as I said it. That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, I literally went to 3 weeks ago this month, so I definitely understand the spending money on music. I don't regret it. I was exhausted afterwards, and I'm going to another concert on Monday, which I'm very excited about too.
Oh, exciting. Who are you seeing on Monday?
Queens of the Stone Age. I'm very excited for that.
That is going to be such a fun show.
They put on a really, really good show. And the thing I really like about a Queens of the Stone Age concert, like a lot of bands will have a curated playlist of like they're going to play every show. Right? They have the same set list every night because that makes sense. You're going to practice like 2 hours of music. And that will be the 2 hours
for the gifted sub to Miji.
But Queens of the Stone Age kind of has like a 70% of their playlist is like the core songs they know they're going to play, and then the other 30% changes every single night. They just pull random tracks from their discography, so you truly never know what you're going to get, which is really fun. I've definitely seen them, and they've played some like deep cuts. Last time I saw them, they played if you're familiar with them at all, they played Monster in Your Parasol, which I was not expecting.
Yeah.
Like super, super classic, good shit way back then. And the other thing that I really, really like, and I'm excited to see them this time around, is this is the first time I'm seeing them since Song for the Dead resurged in popularity and went viral.
Oh, okay.
So the song went viral because it got a huge drum solo opening. And every drummer on drummer TikTok and drummer YouTube and drummer Instagram, right? They all are doing their take on the drum opening because it's super bombastic and really cool. But I was like, there's no way you don't capitalize on a song you wrote like 20 years ago, all of a sudden bursting in popularity. So I'm like, I really want to see them play that live.
Good,
and
thank
also
you so much.
The drummer for Queens of the Stone Age now is John Theodore, aka the original drummer of the Mars Volta.
Oh, sick. Yeah, so you're going to have a good time at that show. I'm excited. Y'all have to tell me all about it.
Oh, I will. You know I will. Are we back from ads?
Yeah, welcome back from ads, everybody. Gib, thank you for gifting us up to Pella. Pella, I hope you enjoy your emotes and ad-free viewing while you're hanging out here. Actually, I forgot the order of the songs I did all of this in, so it's going to be a surprise for me, too, what the next one is.
That's okay. Before you click the next song, can I abuse your audience for 2 seconds?
Go for it, yeah.
Your audience of K-pop fans?
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect.
Hi, Doll.
Doll,
Billy.
welcome in.
Welcome.
Also, hello, everybody. I'm the true Salt King. And
also, please plug yourself, too, before you get into whatever you're doing.
Okay, I mean, I can do that, too.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm... So let's... Okay, we'll do the me plug.
And then you can do the abusive part, yeah.
No, I'm not going to abuse anybody. This is not an abusive thing, I promise. I'm not yelling. Hi, everybody. I'm the True Salt King. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I do also stream to YouTube, and my VODs go there. I should theoretically put other things on YouTube. I'm not going to, but I should. And when I'm not streaming on Twitch and YouTube, where I play all sorts of stuff, but when I'm not doing that, I make music under the name Sonderlust. It is experimental electronic music. Genre is fake. Who cares? I just like to make music that makes me happy, and I hope it makes you happy too. It's available on every single streaming platform. That's S0NDERLUST, Sonderlust. It's like Wanderlust, but slightly German. And if you like it, it's free. It's DMCA free, so use it in your content. If you want some good stuff, you can play it on your streams. I'll never ask for any money for that stuff. I just, want people to listen to it and enjoy it. Thank you so much, and thank you, Sand, for having me on. It means a ton, and I'm in love with chatting music with y'all.
Thanks. Well, we're happy to have you here, but now I'm getting to the meat and potatoes of what you were originally trying to do.
Now, hey, K-pop fans. Nice to meet y'all. I'm Salt. I'm having a wonderful time so far learning all about your amazing music and this culture, and I'm loving it. I would like to reach across the table and extend an olive branch to all of you. If you would like to try something a little bit different, like I'm trying something a little bit different tonight, I would like to encourage you to maybe check out your local indie band.
Yeah.
Check out what bands play in your local city. Go to a show that's going to cost $5 or $10 at a bar that you've never been to and probably has room for about 50 people. Spend the $5-10 to get in, buy a couple of beers or a drink or whatever else you like, and go find some new music in your local area. Because you know what? K-pop kicks ass. The everything that's coming out of there is amazing. But you know what else kicks ass? Your local musicians that are doing their blood, sweat, and tears. You might find your new favorite band, and you know what's really cool? It's probably going to cost you nothing, and you might be able to buy their CD for $5, and you're going to make them cry, like with joy. They're going to go home and talk about how you made their night. So go to your local show. And in fact, while you're going to your local show, check out this band. They're called the OBGMs. I'm not in the band, but they're a Toronto punk band. They're one of the best bands on the fucking planet. And if you disagree, you're wrong. If you like punk music, if you like Afro punk music, or you just like good music, you should listen to the OBGMs. I'm done now.
I 100% agree. OBGMs are fantastic. I believe between Salt and Ago, I hear so much about them. They're so great. 10 out of 10 recommend. And like Salt was saying earlier, check out all of his music everywhere, but also fuck Spotify. We won't get into it because I think Salt and I could probably go on giant rants about Spotify, but support your local musicians through their band camps, for example, or anything besides Spotify.
Spotify is the fucking devil. Do not give them your money.
True.
Yeah, buying one album on Bandcamp, and this goes to any band.
Yeah.
Literally just OBGMs. Yes, OBGMs. It stands for the Ooh Baby Gimme Mores, but they just go by the OBGMs now, kind of the way management just goes by MGMT, right? Yeah, just the OBGMs. They're great if you like good punk music. If you're looking for a streaming service that has really good quality audio, it's not perfect. It's still getting better, but we recently switched to Tidal. Their audio quality is through the roof, and actually they're now allowing people with their basic subscription starting next month to have access to like Dolby Atmos without costing any more money. So you get like the highest quality audio you could from a streaming service. Check out Tidal. I also am not sponsored by them, but I just support music.
Support local bands, support music, and like Dylan said, also hi Dylan. You might meet some friends there. People at like local shows are normally really cool, chilled, down to earth, and just want to vibe and enjoy their music. So,
absolutely. All right, now let's get back into the world of super hyper corporate K-pop, but honestly, good music. Let's do it.
Oh, first we have Save It. Actually, this is a great thing. Save the Children for sure. This is a great organization that's doing a lot of good work around the world. Good ad. Thanks, YouTube.
Actually,
this is a great ad.
This one's great. Save the Children.
I'm gonna move on just for purposes, but 10 out of 10 recommend.
Now for something completely different.
This is Wiki's secret. Yeah. Yeah. This is a song that Wiki really likes. She didn't recommend the song, but I was trying to find. So the person that wrote this, I'm kind of all over the place. The person that wrote this song and is the main person is Soyeon here. And she is in a group called G Idol. I think it's actually just Idol. You don't say the G, but G Idol. But she does her own solo stuff. So this was, I think, one of the singles on her first solo mini album, something like that.
Hell yeah.
And she got some really, really cool other ladies that are in the K music world to collaborate with her. Bibi is a huge one. And then I'm blanking on her name. Youngji, I think, is a K rapper. She's really great as well.
Hell yeah.
But Soyeon writes and produces all of her own music, even for G Idol.
So before we even start the song, this initial snapshot, these three women look like they're going to kick the shit out of me and rob me, and I'm going to thank them for the privilege. I'm ready for this. This is very good.
I think you're actually going to really like it. It's a really cool produced song. And like I said, Soyeon writes and produces all of her own stuff. So we're getting into the self-production era.
Amazing. So this is self-produced. Which one is she? Just because I couldn't see your mouse. Which one is she?
I actually... Wiki, is it the one in the middle? In the red, yeah. In the middle.
In the red? Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Perfect. Let's... It wouldn't particularly matter, but it's great knowledge to have. Let's fucking do this.
Yeah, we're getting into it. Let's go.
Let's go payphones.
Hello, is this bad bitch number?
Oh yeah, that sample. Hello.
All the money ring ring, all the lunch ring ring, all the long ding ding. Hello, is this bad bitch number?
여보세요? Look, did you know who the fuck you're talking to? You say you got the new way, but I don't give a damn about you. 다 찢어진 바짓가랑이 잡고 애원해. Why all my girls going to get dead all bands? I want to get one more. We need to be your Romo. Demo 후뚝뚝 떨어져 동감하게 don't even follow. They are my kids, swallow all these 눈만 자들의 jealousy. 난 다순이 가로막아내 business가 당신도 원치. So you can check out whenever you want. 나두란 움직임 뒤처지는 곳. Cut this dumb as and all I want is murder 적자 생존. 더 이상 못해 생존 탈장 유발에는 행복. Cause I'm too nasty for your got this.
And these songs that samples everyday noises and makes them fucking musical.
I knew you were gonna love that. Yeah.
Come in. What do you mean bad? I'm saying
Nice.
You think I play balls, I do everything with tons.
Hey yo.
Job, reading book, giving hey. 여러모로 괜찮은 여자랍니다. Before, baby, so good, been in bed. A for apple, juice, I'm head. D for dead, 나한테 걸리는 게 좋지 않을 거란 충고 잊지 말게. If you wanna ask me, I'm doing all this. Marry, kill, fuck, 헷갈리지 말기. 너는 네가 원하는 걸 주러 왔으니 기다 아니다, 평가지르지 말게. Hello, is this bad bitch number? I'm looking for the sad bitch girl.
No.
All the money ring ring, all the lunch bring bring, all the long ding ding. Hello, is this bad bitch number? 눈앞에 두고 전화를 했네. 이게 저는 거 남친은 더 Let it be burn. I'm in
먹는 덤 모두가 알고 있지 뒤바뀐 세대 위 제트를 이끄는 아이돌 래퍼는 킹인지 퀸인지 그게 누구인지 that's the bridge she's so windy oh my god
That is an odd future change up.
I knew you were gonna like this song.
너는 아마 우리가 점점 미워지지만 돈을 발랐어라도 여기 깨고 싶지 Right?
Fuck yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. A lot of thoughts there, and I promise not all of them are step on me, although that is one of them.
That should be the prominent thought. I'm not gonna lie.
That is definitely one of them, and is as it fucking should be. So my immediate thought right away. So for those of you who know, last year I streamed every single game in the Yakuza series, which is not the same. But there's a prominent J-pop idol storyline in the middle of that series. And the thing that I found so fascinating when it was talking about that kind of culture and J-pop idol culture is this like extreme obsession with like kawaii culture and just being super cute. Right. So to see like an all ladies K-pop group just being unrelentlessly like bad bitches and just being extremely fierce, extremely powerful, threatening and unafraid, but also like fully in control of their sexuality. I think that was really cool to see, and it was very awesome to see in contrast to what I think a lot of Western audiences get in their heads about what an all-femme pop group looks like. So I love seeing that. Now, I think you knew even, you said it right off the top, you knew I was going to like this because I love sample work that takes everyday ordinary stuff and chops it up in a way. Using like old school touch tone phone sounds and playing them in a way that creates a musical melody is beautiful because not only can you make a repetitive melody that is catchy to the ears, but by the very nature of the tones that you're using, they're slightly atonal, right? Like they have a tone and they have a melody, but they're atonal, right? So it sits in this weird, beautiful, powerful, disturbing, like almost like an uncanny valley of musicality where you're like, this is musical, but with everything else that's production, it's just slightly off kilter and it's familiar but unfamiliar. And I really loved that. The way that they and just other like dial tones as well. I'm also biased because I may or may not have sampled, the dial-up, the modem dial-up for a song myself.
That's so true, yeah.
But I really, really love those choices. The rapping was fucking incredible. I mean, rapping in one language is difficult enough. Rapping in two languages and swapping between lines to get rhymes that work but allow you to say what you actually want to say is such a cool fucking flex.
Yeah.
And the beat swap at the end, I said, you heard me say right away. I'm like, this is odd future pilled.
Yep.
Like this is the kind of shit that like if they had been hanging out on the other side of the ocean, this is the type of stuff that like Tyler and his buddies would have been like, hey, come join the crew.
Yeah.
Like and I could see them like palling around with Odd Future. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the kind of thing that like Tyler and crew would bump, right? Awesome. This was really, really cool. I would also put this up there. I would say this is right up there with Superhuman as was a favorite of the night. Just because it's super unique. Yeah. And unique stuff is going to get me. And I'm biased. If you do this yourself, and you do it. I'm biased if you produce it yourself, you do it your own way, and you have that kind of like 2 middle fingers to the labels and say, I'm doing it my way, eat shit. People are going to like it. I have nothing but respect for that.
Yeah, we do have a few self-produced songs on here tonight, so you do get some self-production in there. I love that we started with BEOMHAN. We're already at Soyeon. True. Also, Mikey, I think you asked earlier, I don't know if it was a joke or not, about the playlist. I'm happy to share the playlist with everybody. I can post it wherever, send it to whoever. Just let me know. I can get that out on YouTube or Spotify, because I still use Spotify because it's free for me. But either way, I can get it out to people. But yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one, I guess.
Let's do it.
We'll just let the end play out there.
Let's go.
Thanks,
Ghostbusters. Thank you. Thank you, Liberty Mutual.
Can I get some bustins
that
in
look
chat?
like this
Can we get some
are
bustins?
lying to you.
I get some
Mass marketed
bustins in
hair
chat.
care
even
doesn't
have
work for
bustin?
everyone.
Bustin makes me feel good.
Bustin'. Makes me feel good.
All right.
So
we're back
this is
to- we're
another
back to
NCT song. I
Cool.
picked this one because Nathan, here's a spoiler alert. There's no New Jeans. Although New Jeans, I think, actually would be an interesting one for you to listen to. It was so hard for me to pare this down to just 10 songs. I ended up going for 11. And even then, I was like, this is probably too much with how much Salt and I talk, but we'll get through what we get through. But there's...
You don't need to worry about me. I'm good. This is Friday. My weekend has officially started, so we're
hell yeah.
We're good until my downstairs neighbors complain, and even then, we're still good because fuck them.
Sounds good. Then we'll be here all night. I'm just kidding.
Let's do it.
But this is a song I actually really enjoy. It's by a producer called Dem Joints. He's actually done 2 songs that are on this list. Dem Joints, that's his name. He's an American producer.
I like it.
And he goes to like these songwriting camps, basically, that all these K-pop corporations hold, where songwriters and producers go, and they just get paired up and go into a studio for however many hours and just pump out as many songs as they can and try and sell them to companies.
That's wild.
So this song, and I believe it's the next one, or the one after, are 2 of his songs. He's probably like my favorite producer, I would say, if we're not talking self-produced. So I think you're going to enjoy it. I will say, Wiki's already going in there. You can hear his little producer tag. It's incoming, so you'll know when you hear it. But yeah, this is a good song. It's a cool song. I think if you liked Superhuman, you're going to like this.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
All right.
They all love just big noises. Ooh.
한방 펀쳐 다 휘청거려 해머 아웃 날려 Cause I'm a clean fighter 뭘 망설여 네 셔플은 느려 더 바짝 붙어 언제 갤러리 공이 울려 함성도 커져 내 피가 끓어 거칠게 없어 We the future and we are dreamers 링을 뒤집히고 우리 돼 제법
Ooh, okay.
숨겨진 내 신변 on a 30-second beat 한계 없는 game my mixtape bang like 돌리고 쏟아대 styles make a fight 거짓말 안 해 as high as we can get as loud as we can get 준비한 자가
That lead is so cool.
거칠었던 난 너를 준비해 메말랐던 너의 영혼 적셔줄 나이기에 내 순간 처음인 듯 일어날 나에게 We fight together That punch 날리고 또 뛰고 소리쳐 baby 가슴 뜨겁게 We ballin' 전부를 바꿀 fighter 내 세상으로 와 우리가 누구야 baby
Big screams, big screams.
너의 신호는 켰지 나만 빛을 본 거지 흘려지는 거리에 너만이 내 exit 쏟아져 파는 힘내 숨 몰아쉬어 눈동 바로 떠 As high as we can get As loud as we can get 대세는 정해져 우리가 다 날려 punch 지렸던 round 난 담을 준비해 매 순간 처음인 듯 일어날 나에게 날리고 이빛 아래 꿈꾸던 듯해
Interesting.
멈추지 않겠어
So I will say one thing about NCT is they're known as like an R&B group. So they're like the progressive, like kind of weird, funky techno, and then you add in a little bit of R&B into that.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Sarah. None of them had any basketballs or baseballs or anything, right?
For all that balling, there was no balls anywhere. Very interesting. So that lead synth was very, very interesting. I made a note and I'm going to say it in a sec. It's kind of funny. But that lead synth is really, really cool. I feel like this song was a lot safer than the other NCT track. This definitely feels. It's funny that you said off the top that, you know, they go into a studio and they grind, you know, as many beats as they can. Because this one does feel a little bit more like NCT went to like beatshop.com and scrolled down, you know, went to like page 5 and said, oh, this one's on sale, and picked it up. There's nothing wrong with this, but I think like it was fun. I think the lead synth was good, but it felt the least inspired musically of all the ones I've heard so far.
I will say this song is also one that did not do suit like as well as a title track out of their catalog. Yeah,
I'm not surprised by that, and that, I mean no disrespect by that. I think that lead synth is really, really, really cool. So the comment that I made, and this kind of defeats the entire purpose, is this track, if I was playing like an indie RPG and I got into like a big fight and this was the music that played as I was getting into a fight, best fight theme in an indie RPG.
Oh, I can hear that. Yeah, that'd be so rad. Yeah.
So like that lead synth, when you hear the and it comes in, I'm like, oh, that's when we're coming into the fight, right? And weirdly enough, I'm like, the whole thing I was thinking, which is no insult to them, it just tells me that it was a bad match, is the whole time I was like, I feel like I would like this song more as an instrumental. And I feel like that's because this was designed as an instrumental and then given to them. That's the vibe I get from it. And sometimes that works. I mean, that happens in pop all the time, right? But I feel like in this case, there's so much production happening that there's no place for the vocals to shine in a group that has such great vocals. There's, I love that synth. Pull it the hell out for the chorus and let them shine as vocalists, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't think it was a bad song, but I think of the list, this might actually be my least favorite of the night so far.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Like and to be fair, I haven't thought any of the songs are bad tonight.
Right.
Like, I think with this one, like, it has a lot of good elements, but combined they're lesser. I feel like they had, like, NCT, from what I've heard now from the 2 songs here and from the ones that I heard, like Mad Dog and stuff, their vocals are great. They're very, very good at that. But this track didn't really give them the place to shine. And it didn't really, and because of that, it also meant that they were covering up the cool production that was happening. So they were kind of clashing against each other at points.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. And I think that something that a lot of like fans have said too, especially when the song came out, like nobody could remember what it sounded like after they listened to it for the first time. Like it was something where it's like, you can't hum it. Like it's not something that it was recognizable like easily. So
yeah,
I think that rings true with a lot of what you were saying. So
yeah, exactly. So Wiki just said something funny. It's like, hey, get rid of all the lines except A We Ballin' and make it in 2D platformer.
I mean, honestly,
you're like, you make that as a joke, Wiki, but like if you gave me an over the top. So I just finished playing Pyre, and for those of you who don't know, Pyre is wizard basketball. Everybody should play this game. It's a great game, but if you made a non-wizard basketball, but the same gameplay mechanics, but like set it in like a future spacey world, and this was the opening theme, I'd be like, yep, that's correct. That would be fucking amazing. And like when I say that this sounds like video game music, I also want to make clear that is like the so farthest from the insult that people sometimes think it is. Yeah. Video game composition and video game composers are some of the greatest musicians alive right now. I would put Lena Raine and Christopher Larkin and Darren Korb up against some of the biggest producers in the world any day of the week, and I'd probably choose them. Yeah. So saying that this sounds like a video game is a compliment, not an insult. But I do feel like these two pieces clashed.
Yeah. I'm with you, Pella. I really miss when pop music used to have cool harmonies. Like, I feel like there's this entire... Like, for me, I was really into, like, Backstreet Boys and all of that stuff in early 2000s boy bands. And then there was just, like, this, like, decade and a half, like, in between where I was just kind of like, pop is fine. I'm not seeking it out, but it's there, I guess.
Well, yeah, and now we have this trend right now where everything is on the harmonic second, right? They're everybody these single lines and going to the second because it catches the ear, right? And I fully agree. And when we talk about these other artists that are doing these other tracks where they have these huge wall of sounds, right? The other artist that I feel like that harkens back to love him or hate him, because obviously contentious past is Michael Jackson. Because when you look at when you look at the layering that Michael would do with his own voice, right, where he would overdub his own voice and harmonize on his own voice like 7-8 layers, right?
Yeah.
So that is now we can do that so much easier. But that same mentality of no, we're going to harmonize on ourselves like 7 times, and then we're going to have another harmony that harmonizes on itself 7 times to just give these really lush sounds. And boy bands were doing it live, get 5 beautiful voices, harmonize them together, away you go, right? And so seeing those harmonies in K-pop is really nice. And so those R&B vibes were very good, but they just didn't really get to shine here.
Yeah. All right. Well, next song.
Hell yeah, let's go.
We'll see if it's better or worse. Another great charity.
When we first arrived,
I feel bad skipping this.
It was
stuff.
just Claire and I.
Like, maybe we should watch it.
St. Jude's rocks.
Yeah, St. Jude does rock. Okay, so this is the same producer. I would say this is maybe a song that that shines a lot more. I think it shows off a lot more with him.
Okay, cool.
Wiki is gonna freak out. This is her group. This is
other than Stray Kids.
This is the group that got her into K-pop. I want to say. All right, so this is from 3 years ago. But yeah, let's get into it. It's a good song. I really enjoy it.
All right, we got immediate thirst. Let's go. I haven't even been commenting on most of the thirst. I see it. I just haven't been touching it.
Don't worry, Chad has been.
Check this out, y'all. Ooh. I don't want you back, don't call me. I keep saying next time and I'm saying your life.
깊어진 밤 집요하게 벨이 울려 It's your calling.
Yeah, this is already better.
Yeah.
그게 바로 너 스티커.
너 쉽게 포기 못해. 그 성질 버리지 못해.
온종일 내 이름만 서치해. 내 흔적들을 찾아 핥아대.
내 아침을 망치곤 해. 그 패턴은 뻔해. 관심 꺼줄래. I know where you came from.
그대로 나의 shawty 사라져 줄래 저리.
Don't think about calling.
넌 못 버티겠지 집착꾼이겠지 나처럼 잘한 사람 없을 거니까 너도 참 피곤했지 전부 꾸며 대니 머릿속 꽤나 어지러웠을 거야 미쳤어 넌 You know you waste my time 네가 봐 넌 최악이야
Big build.
끝났어 너의
Okay, we're back. I think
We back. Hi.
It's okay. SHINee was what broke the stream. SHINee is what ended it.
That was like the ultimate in musical edging right there. Build. Nothing.
Nothing. It's okay. I think we're good. I'll back up a little bit so we get back there. The SHINee was too strong. Yeah.
I will say right off the top, already this is better than the last one, first thing. And second thing, immediately the thing that I'm drawn to is rather than using that big synth hook in the first one, which I liked, but it was distracting.
Yeah.
In this case, he's using the band's voice and chopping it. And so those vocal chops don't take away from the voice because it's still just another playing on the voice. And so that works a lot nicer.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, let's back it up and let's see if we can get this build.
There we go. Yeah. Did I back it up enough?
I think we need to back it up a little more.
Yeah, I think we need to back it up. Yeah,
right,
there we go.
We need a true K-pop moment.
There we go. We're going to run it back.
You know you waste my time 네가 봐 넌 최악이야 When I hit your call 끝났어 너의 love
너원이 나 사랑하면 보내줘 너원이 나 계속 말하잖아 next time 넌 없어 in your life 네 사랑 난 이제 아니야 지워 날 잊어버려 제발 난 널 몰라 손 위에 전화하지마 Sick of all your trash 진짜 늦었다니까 널 믿지 않아 you know why 날 속였다는 걸 알아 속인 걸 알아 이 극은 왜 사랑의 몫인데 슬픈 에픽 속그 끝을 보고 있네 넌 못 맞겠지 집착뿐이겠지 나처럼 잘한 사람 없을 거니까 미쳤어 넌
This build is really iconic. I like that.
I think it's really cool how this song. There we go. I think it's really cool how this song like really showcases their voices because the four of them have such unique like tones.
계속 말하잖아 next time 넌 없어 in your life 네 사랑 난 이제 아냐 지워 널 잊어버려 제발 난 널 몰라 손 위에 전화하지마 아직 컸던 꿈속에서 포기 못했니 I'll never pick up 지워버렸어 I'm gonna save my life
Captain Morgan Spice Rum moment.
For the next call
Sorry, the number you have called has been disconnected.
끝났어 love 아싸라던 원이나
Oh, that piano.
다들 보내줘
Okay.
난 찾을 거야 love my love 더 아름다운
Oh, the melodrama of it all.
so bad 잊을 수 있는 계속 말하잖아 next time 넌 없어 in your life 네 사랑 난 이제 아니야 지워 날 잊어버려 제발 난 널 몰라 손 내게 전화하지마
Hell yeah.
And this was a
Lesson-
song earlier I had talked about with the producer talking about all the layers they had to do when they were making this, which I'm sure
can
you can
hear
now
it.
understand now. Yeah.
Yeah. Lesson to everybody. Sometimes the actual instrument is just the right fucking choice. Like I write everything. Like almost 100 songs that I've written with Sondalas have been written on this specific Akai MPK Mini. This MIDI keyboard I've written 100 songs on. But you know what? Sometimes you just need a fucking real piano.
Yeah.
That honestly, the song was already great and that put it over the top for me. That was just such the right extra spice to close the track out, just to give that like very, very melodramatic, big, extra kind of flavor at the end.
Yeah.
Was 100% what it needed. This song, all the issues I had with the previous song by this producer were not present in this one.
Yep.
They were giving space for the vocals. They're giving room for the star of the show. I love noisy synths and big production, but you have to make sure that there's room for the star of the show, which is the vocalist. We're here to showcase the guys, right? Or the girls, right? So if you're not giving them space to show, then you've kind of failed. This gave them so much room. There's so much vocal talent in this group. Obviously, the eye candy doesn't hurt. They're fucking gorgeous, but like they all have incredible talent here. They're produced pristinely. The layering is beautiful. That little extra surprise with the piano at the end was gorgeous. That was a banger. A note that I made at one point, you probably see I like stopped watching and I typed for a second. The low vocal chop. First of all, I really liked it, but it specifically reminds me of a song. I don't know how familiar you are with Canadian group called The Hallucination.
I've listened to a few of the songs because you've played them on your stream, yeah.
I have played them before, yeah. So I think this one I've played before. There's a song by the Hallucination. They're an incredible indigenous hip hop and like electronic group. They have a song, if I remember correctly, it's called Sila, and it's got Tanya Tagag on it as well, who's a throat singer, right? And
yeah, is this the electric powwow drum?
So electric powwow drum is another one by them.
But I know what you're talking about though, because I think I have both of those songs saved from listening to on your stream.
Yeah. Because that second one, she has the throat singing, so she's really low, those low throat vocals. But she has parts where she's just singing, and then there's a whole other part where they take it and they chop it.
Yeah.
And the way that they take that tradition of just it's such a this reminded me of that in the best possible way. And so that's awesome. This track rocked. This is definitely up in the top half. It's going to be difficult for me to actually rank them, but this was up there. This was up there. This was really
Hell
good.
Yeah. Also, Wiki corrected your pronunciation, by the way, of your keyboard. I don't know if you saw that.
I know, and I'm going to reverse pronounce. Let me get my keyboard back. You look closely, and you might not be able to see because it's blurry, so I might have to adjust here. But we're going to hold this up. That is A-K-I-A-I. So that is A-K-A-I. That is a Kai. I know you're thinking of the berry, which is A-C-A-I. And if that was the case, you'd be 100% right. That would be acai. But this is a Kai. So I did pronounce it right.
Damn, Salt got your ass. Also, Cal, I can see that. I know that the kind of like rapping / talking part can be kind of off-putting for some people, for sure.
I'm loving it. I really, really do love the combo. Actually, it's Akui. True. Actually, it's pronounced Aqua. My keyboard is actually a character in Kingdom Hearts.
I gotta go.
Haven't even played a game with that character in it. I can still make the joke. Let's go. We're learning.
Oh my goodness.
No, but that was amazing. That was amazing.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed that one.
Let's see what's up next. It's a surprise.
Today, the idea is that we're going to be doing
also another great charity. I think it's because I was Googling charities last night, so that's why I'm getting to some of these.
You Googling charities means all the ads tonight have been for good causes. I won't get too political on your stream, but you know who needs to be supported and who needs to be saved.
Yeah. I guess sneak peek. I was going to do it tomorrow, but I think I'm going to push it back to next weekend just so I have more time to plan. Like a little birthday celebration stream, but in lieu of gifts / donos, I'd rather donations go to a worthwhile charity. So that's what the research has been for.
I love that.
NQ, hello, welcome in. Yes, so I see a lot of... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, MQ.
I was just shutting out MQ.
Yeah, I know. It's always so nice to see MQ. He's such a good guy. So this song was very controversial when it came out. Not for anything like context-wise, because it's... NMIXX is basically... I don't want to say they created their own genre, but they have like their own sound that's very unique. And I would say... not very palatable to the average listener.
I feel like I'm gonna love this.
I think you're gonna enjoy it. Big wave, am I right?
Whenever anyone introduces a band and they're like, so this wasn't very palatable by audiences, I was like, go on.
Yeah. It has, I would think the big feature of this is there's a lot of like harsh cuts between like genres within the song. You'll see what I mean when we get into it, but you're going to be listening to a few different things, but we'll go ahead and get started here.
I'm a Between the Buried and Me fan. I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm already in love with this.
번쩍 뜬 눈을 깜빡 머린 핑핑핑 돌아 상상도 못한 드라마 씬을 찍어보자 이제 시작된 챌린지 아마 쉽지는 않겠지 긴장해 팽팽하게 baby Vamos amigo 무한히 펼쳐진 your level 끌리는 카드를 뒤집어 Going up 어서 begin 1부터 N까지 선택해봐 속을 flying 모든 걸 펼쳐
I can explain a little bit more about that later, Cal. Actually, there's a reason.
Now 시작해봐 과감하지만 태어나게 started Let's roll the dice yeah 한번을 뒤집어 완전히
Oh, hell yeah.
이 손안에 baby 눈앞에 여기 세상에 기대해 So tell me what you want where you wanna go and mix change up let's go big wave 비워주마 break it up
Fuck yeah.
높은 파도 위로 좀 더 유연하게 trouble들을 dribble have passes perfect보다 높은 number 그 이상을 향해 jump up 현실 같은 dream은 이제 빠져나와 깨어나도 수면 위를 날아 fly high
Bring it back. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
excited I'm so excited 반전에 기대해 baby 지금 with me Let's roll the dice 저 구름 속을 dive in 이 파도 위를 riding 말이 좀 안 되면 어때 No more waiting Or it now 다 걸어봐 고민할 필요도 없어 Go get it
We found K-pop sleep token, y'all.
Yeah, we did. We quickly did.
시간이 없어 baby Let's roll the dice yeah 함께만 들어가는 score High shot 따라잡을 수 없는 number 상상을 뛰어넘는 세계 You go with me Let's roll the dice
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, we found K-pop sleep token. Hey, do you want like 5 genres in your song? We got you. Just on principle alone, one of my favorite things in music is when music completely fucks with genre.
Yeah.
And disrespects genre. And K-pop sleep token I'm living. Am I wrong though? Let's not pretend like the thing that really skyrocketed Sleep Token. I love Sleep Token, but when their new album came out, the thing that skyrocketed Sleep Token was to have a song that was like one part love ballad, one part fucking death metal, and then all of a sudden it was a minute and a half of music to fuck to. And they did the same thing here, right? They start off with that very big jazzy kind of big band style. They get more into the pop. They throw some hip hop in there. They're throwing Latin influences in here. And I think somebody mentioned Spanish. So I'm wondering if there is somebody in the group that has some Spanish or Hispanic background somewhere.
Literally the closest is one of them is Australian. So not close at all.
They just like
basically,
it.
they were trying to do a huge push because K-pop is really huge in like Latin and South America. So cool. NMIXX was supposed to kind of be for JYP, which is the label that they're signed to. They were supposed to kind of be like that first input into that market. So a lot of the girls were like learning Spanish and they were doing like Spanish interviews and things like that, which is why there's a lot of like Spanish influence in some stuff.
That's super cool. I think I can understand why commercially this probably wasn't successful. But I think that this track is really, really clever. Mm-hmm. I'm a sucker for rapid changes. And that's a personal thing.
You and me both. That's one of my favorite things of like listening to like, especially prog music.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, you know, I went and saw Between the Buried and Me 2 nights in a row, and they played 2 albums back to back. And the reason why I love that band so much is even when you're like, it's a prog band, they're going to do experimental shit. Mm-hmm. You don't expect at the end of a 13-minute prog epic for there to suddenly be a country hoedown for 2 minutes, but they fucking do that. Right? Like they have such a disrespect for genre in a good way, mm-hmm. because I think genres should be disrespected. You know, same with the conversations people are currently having about Cowboy Carter. I'm going to be 100% mm-hmm. honest. I haven't even listened to the album yet, but I love that Beyonce said, I'm going to write a country album and you can't fucking stop me. And doing that mid song, being like, all right, you're dancing. Now we're going to salsa. Now we're dancing. Okay. The brass is out. It's big band time. But musically and sonically, it is still cohesive. The trick to doing that is you need to be able to, even when you're tripping people up, still have cohesion. And so like when you do it there's one transition there where it goes fast to slow really quick and everything drops out and there's this huge shift. But when they come back out the other side, the connection is really smooth. So you can tell that the switch was meant to be jarring. It was meant to make you go, whoa, what the fuck? And then coming back out of it to go, oh, but we're going to show you how this all fits back in. This was all part of the plan the whole time. So it's another one of those situations of like pulling the rug out from underneath the audience and having enough confidence in your production and your songwriting to know that you're going to get them back. And that takes fucking tons of bravery to do.
Yeah.
And so I have huge respect for these ladies for doing this. Their voices were great. The production was great. The genre mixing was incredible. This is a personal win for me. I like seeing shit like this.
Hell yeah.
And be uncomfortable. Music should make you uncomfortable at least a little bit. If your music isn't challenging you at least a little bit, find new music. It's time to branch out.
Yeah, I agree. There's a huge place in music for ripping apart genres because it brings people together. It also allows them to potentially find more music. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, 100%.
And maybe it's my ADHD, but songs that keep me on my toes really keep my attention. Yeah, I mean that's that too.
That's definitely a big reason why I like it because it definitely makes my ADHD go burr. But I think there's a beauty in the bravery it takes to jam things together and make it make sense.
Yeah, and I know what group you're talking about, Wiki, where she's saying that I like how NMIXX pulls this off and the way that they do that, because this isn't the only song that they do stuff like this in, that this is their brand, essentially.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
Another group that tries to do it as well, that it just doesn't work as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be imitators, right? Haters and imitators, and like, everybody's mileage is going to vary at the end of the day. Like I talk about BTBAM a lot, but I know that they're not the most accessible band, but they do it very well. But there are definitely other bands that try to do it, and it just you kind of break your neck tilting your head, right?
Yeah.
So making it make sense is the most important thing by far. All right, well, I'm
glad you like that one. All right, so now we're getting into Stray Kids.
I was wondering when Stray Kids was going to appear.
I was debating how to put them in here because there's a few songs that I think would be good, but I'm pretty sure I put both of them on the playlist I sent you, so that wouldn't have been new. So I think this one is newish to you. I
don't recognize it immediately. There are definitely Stray Kids songs that I recognize right away. Your entrance theme on my channel is a Stray Kids song, right?
It is, yeah, it is. It's from their Kingdom performance, yeah.
Yeah. It's the one where all of a sudden, the beat hits, and all of a sudden it's
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
and that's all you need to know, right?
That's it. That's all you need to know. So Stray Kids self-produced group. Important to know. I think they have a couple guest producers that kind of help them out with stuff, but they write and produce all their own music, do all the guide tracks. Like, they're as self-produced as you can get, in my opinion, when it comes to K-pop. So
hell yeah. And we've talked about that a lot. One of the things you love about them is just how much they really try to make it's theirs, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
I like that piano. I will say they're pretty as hell.
Oh, 100%. The guy that's singing right now is the main writer of this song. This
has got a nice groove. I like it.
I figured we can do a lot of like hype songs. Maybe we'll just bring it down for a little bit.
제목 속에 어색한 기류가 흘러 가진 이유로 내가 찔러있는 눈빛 속에 아주 얕은 맘으로 비켜줄래 라는 말을 꺼냈을 때 슬픔이라기보단 후련하게도 Yes you, that's you, thank you right now 그래 우리 Yeah we're gonna break together 서로의 값을 매일매일 들을 불태워 이제 모두 남김없이 버려도 우린 후회 없어 그저 숱하는 마음만
여기서 그만 밖으로 나가줘 그래 너도 남김없이 버려다 다시는 외롭게 일단 속 타는 마음 좀 식혀.
The high whistle synth in this song specifically reminds me of the second half of Playing God by Polyphia.
Oh my god, you're so right. I don't think I've ever made that connection before. You're so right.
It's right there.
It's crazy.
침묵 속에 어색한 기류가 흘러 가진 이유로 내게 찔러있는 눈빛
This is really groovy.
비켜줄래라는 말을 꺼냈을 때 슬픔이라기보단 후련하게 또 yeah Yes you, that's you, thank you, right now 그래 우리 Yeah we gonna break 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 together 서로의 값진 매일매일들을 불태워 이제 모두 남김없이 버려도 우린 후회 없어 그저 속타는 마음만 시켜 이제 난 내게 신경 꺼
Stray Kids is forklift certified.
All I can think of is this dude I found playing Toontown and his name is Forklift Certified.
전부 날리자 오늘 다 뱉어 속에 담아뒀던 그 모든 말들도 우린 한상이 죽여주는 넥터 여기 그만하고 우리 서로 이제 그만 Yeah we gonna break 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 together
They make safety goggles look hot. I gotta give it to them.
Also, great question, like you were talking about.
이제 내게 신경 꺼 추억 속 여기서 그만 밖으로 나가줘 그래 너도 남김없이 버려다 다시는 외롭게 일단 속 타는 마음 좀 식혀.
That was super fun. That was super fun.
Yeah. So Mikey asked a great question too, real quick before we get into it, about the first person writing the song.
Go for it.
So a lot of times in K-pop, it's a team of writers and producers, or they buy the songs. Like they're if you like Bibi Rexa, for example, she wrote one of the most iconic K-pop songs before she ever got famous.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I almost put that in there. We did listen to SHINee, so it was that group earlier that did "Don't Call Me," with the piano that you really liked. She actually wrote a song for them that called "Lucifer." That was one of their biggest songs.
Ooh, spicy.
It's a really cool song. So if we ever do a part 2 of K-pop, we'll throw it in there for you.
I'd be down.
Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, it's I would say it's like pop music in the US. You don't really have a lot of people writing their own stuff. It's just getting it from producers or writers that do it for a living. But yeah, I mean, Stray Kids is just one of those groups where from the very beginning they've had to write their own stuff. I would say they really came up from nothing. I mean, they're huge now, obviously, but they did not have the reach or resources they did when they got started.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I'm going to give you a shout out here in finding a Stray Kids song that I didn't recognize because I spend a lot of time in sand circles and also in wiki streams, so there's a lot of Stray Kids floating around, so the other side of that is not only did you find a Stray Kids song that I didn't know, but also a good one, because let's be real, when you're going to play Stray Kids, you're going to play all your favorite ones, you're going to play all the big bangers, right? So I've heard a lot of Stray Kids, and I gotta say they're great. If there's a K-pop group that I know more than anyone else, it's Stray Kids, and it's because of the two of you, because almost all of my K-pop influences from you guys. But luckily, like, that's fine because they fucking rip. I have a lot of respect for these guys so much. And I really do like what they do. And I appreciate how much they are, cut from themselves and doing it themselves. This track, what I think is particularly fascinating about it is, like, it is really nice and groovy. It's a little chill. There's nothing wrong with a chill track, right? Like not every song has to reinvent the wheel. But the question is, what it always comes down to is, like, if you're going to write just a standard pop hit, make it valuable, make it have something good. And I think the initial piano hook is really slick and feels nice. It's very feel good vibes. It's funny that the song is called Chill, because to me it really gives it gives a lot of, like, summertime city pop cruising vibes. And that's a huge, I've been on a big city pop kick, and this really feels like if K-pop did city pop, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I said it during the listen through. But the high end, like the whistle synths and stuff, really gave me second half of Playing God by Polyphia, which, by the way, if people in here don't know Polyphia, you're wrong. Go listen to them. Because they're also a band that I think is blending genres in a way that nobody ever thought could happen. I didn't think we'd ever see the day that we would see prog metal, hip hop, pop, and trap have a baby, but here we are, and it's one of the most incredible groups out there. But on the song Playing God, right, in that second half, you have those light end whistle tones as they're kind of getting into a bit of a dancier piece, and I'm feeling that here too.
Yeah.
So there's some interesting chill, as the name says, DNA here, and the vibes were immaculate. I really enjoyed this one.
Nice. I guess one thing I forgot to mention too about their like beginnings as a production group. There's 3 of them. They're in a production group called Three Racha, which is play on sriracha sauce.
I love that.
It's really cool. Yeah, they did it when they were trainees. So they actually had their own SoundCloud that like they were begging people on Twitter to listen to their music on SoundCloud. Like that is how they got started. And then to see them now, like it's pretty cool to see how their production skills have evolved over the years. Some of those early songs were tragic, to say the least, if you ever listen to them.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, you know, I have a very, very strict rule that I never get rid of stuff with Sonderlust, but I won't say which because my biases are my biases, but there are definitely songs that I've released under that name that like I listen to now and I go, oh God, right? And so I definitely can understand that from a you know, getting your start and that like that indie vibe of like, oh, we were just trying to get people to give a shit, and the things you learn as you go and the way you grow. This was great. I really loved this.
Nice. We'll see what's up next.
We love the ads.
Oh, okay. So this is one of my favorite groups out there right now. They're called Xikers. They are young guys. Like they are like just turned 18, 19 is their age range. So they're young. They're babies. They have an older group. You probably listen to them on Wiki and I stream ATEEZ. They have a couple members from ATEEZ that actually work on their production for a lot of this stuff for songs. So very cool. They're signed to the same label, KQ, which is not one of the big 4. Big 4 meaning there are 4 big labels essentially that kind of overtake the K-pop industry. So they're not from one of those main 4.
Yes. The big 4 labels of K-pop, of course, being Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax. Right?
Exactly, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big 4 for sure.
This is also the group that I had the most embarrassing experience in my life with when I was in LA. So great memories here.
We love that for you.
Yeah. Wiki and I ended up staying at the same hotel as them when we went to KCON. And we ran into them at the elevator lobby after the first night. I think it was the first night of concerts. And we were just like, yeah, go ahead. You guys can get into the elevator first. And they get in the elevator, they press the up button, and the elevator, I guess, took a little bit of time on the first floor before it actually started moving. So I was like, okay, this has been enough time to pass that I can press the button for the next elevator to come. Opened it them still in there looking like totally shell-shocked, just staring down. But I had ran away because I was scared when I saw the elevator opening. So it was just Wiki in front of them, just staring at them. So
and then Wiki, did you give them an iconic stare point? Because let's be real, if at that point the only way to break the tension would just be to make direct eye contact and just be until the door closed.
100%. She should have. She did like a little wave, like a little hand in front of her body and a little wave. Small Wayton was sweating profusely.
Perfect.
Next time.
Sometimes you just gotta do that. Yeah. Next time. We know for next time. Just stare and point.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
That's how we get through life. That's how just stare and point. But yeah, this is a cool song. This is from their most recent album. So typically they promote 2 songs off of each album, which is different because most groups only do 1. So this is a really cool song. Very different from the main title track.
Okay. So this was like the second single?
Yeah, kind of like a B-side, I guess, like in Western pop music.
Hell yeah. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool production on the video already and on the song.
Hey, okay, who's gonna get that trophy? 가셔내 앞에다. 어떠나 lockdown loading 다 구부서 보이나. 바닥에 보냐 드디어 공동 block and block and block. 거북이 주는 바로 break body 조끼가 유남이 stupid.
전부 가졌은 your room. 따라가지 마냥 어디 홀린 것처럼.
빼기면 백 걸린 순간 다 losing control.
소리 질러 못 참겠다면.
마루게 take original taste will switch shake. 뛰어가 bang 밀어버려 tank 지직 tank. I got your back 시카고 난 red 지금 이때. Don't be man that's got lost brand new things you better pack.
전부 가졌은 the room. 따라가지 마냥 어디 홀린 것처럼. 빼기면 백 걸린 순간 다 losing control. 소리 질러 못 참겠다면.
Raise up, I'm so real, I'm so real. 박은 시지 난 I need it, it's so real, it's so real. Take up, break up, wake up boy, raise up. 정신 싹 올려봐, 순간 위, 머리 위.
Fresh up, no we got mad. 여긴 백자들의 runway.
Okay.
Make it pop,
Okay.
정신 싹 올려봐, 순간 위, 머리 위. Make a wish.
불빛이 눈을 속이지 순간 허리 get up.
This is shockingly grimy.
거친 회오리 불규칙한 이 chaos.
지금 막 태어난 듯이 모두 다 어두스럽지. 늦어서 너였긴 escape.
Better take a look around this place.
나 좀 이상해 그래서 나보다 더 이상해. 에이 시원한 원이라 좁아질 거니 넌 더 이상해. 우리는 원래 그랬듯이 불이나 체계하지 그랬을 겁이야. 난 노시 따위 나를 높이 던져 브레이시 고민하네. 에이
전부 가졌은 your room.
Let's go.
나는 어디 홀린 것처럼. 빼기면 백 걸린 순간 다 losing control. 소리 질러 못 참겠다면.
Red sun, I'm so real, I'm so real. 박은 시지 난 I need it,
Window
it's so real,
rattler.
it's so
Yeah.
real. Take up, break up, wake up boy,
100% a song I like blast in my car when I'm driving down the highway.
머리 위. Red sun, 너 위험해. 여긴 거자들의
This is hooligan music. I fucking love it.
100%. They make such good hooligan music.
순간 위, 머리 위. Make a wish.
따라와 지금 여기로 모여드는 시선을 너도 느껴봐.
Make a love, 녹아버리듯 뜨거워지잖아. 모두 다 정신없게 Let's go shout it out.
Filthy. Damn.
Yeah. How you feeling after that one?
That was okay. That one. How do I put this? Punk music only needs 4 chords to kick your fucking teeth in, and that's what this is doing, right? Like
Yes.
it's like we're not here to reinvent the wheel. We're here to put a bass line that is so fat and so thick that it knows their pains or shakes the muffler out of your goddamn car. We're coming in hard. We're coming in fierce. You said they were young. They have that super, super young, aggressive, in-your-face energy. It was fun. It's a fun fucking track.
Yeah.
That went hard in a way that I don't think any other track so far has, because they were just like, what's a limit? There's no limit. Fucking take the compressors off. We're gonna just rattle everything. We're gonna kick your fucking teeth in.
Yeah.
That was a barn burner track. That was a barn burner track. Big energy. I like
think
that.
that's what I like about them. Like just as a fan is that they have such. I don't even know if I want to say unique for K-pop, in the sense that, like you said, they have all these rules that they're just breaking essentially of like what the norm is, and it's fun. It's just fun to listen to.
Well, yeah, because like when you think about like the production is always polished and pristine, even when it's like chaotic and intense and stuff, like, right, like the biggest production we've seen up to this point has been hyper produced and super tight, where this is, like I said, the first thing I said was like, ooh, this is grimy.
Yeah.
And like the 808s are just filthy. They're cranking the distortion up. They're not afraid of that. And that's something cool to see in an industry that really likes hyper polish, to have them grime it up. Like, this is, you know, I don't think it's quite an apt comparison, but the closest thing I could think of is like, you know, we're getting like, we've had K-pop Sleep Token, and this is feeling like a group of like K-pop death grips. You know what I mean?
Really
like,
that's such a good description for them. Yeah.
Right? Like, is it to the same level of death grips? No, but in terms of like in the rules of K-pop, they're just like, here we are, fucking aggressive, grimy, like borderline yelling, like they're rapping, but they're borderline like yelling at you. And it just kind of feels like they're shaking the screen, being like, look at what the fuck we're doing, and you can't stop us. And that's cool. Cool.
Well, the ads, as Wiki said, are demanding our attention.
Hell yeah. Well,
so let's run a 3-minute ad, maybe.
Let's run a 3-minute ad.
I think 2 more songs after this, so we're already at the end of our list, which is crazy because it feels like we've been flying through and then talking about a lot of it too. So,
yeah,
hi, Polly, welcome in. It has been such a while. I mean, I have other songs, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. We could go on like a giant rabbit hole of people just being like, check out this song, react to this song, listen to this song.
So if we do have a little bit of time at the end, I would like to Uno reverse you with one track.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, there's only 2 songs I think left on the playlist I have, so.
And the only reason why I want to Uno reverse you with a track is mostly because I don't want to wait a month until we do like a full reverse. I just want to give you one right now because I can't stop listening to it, and it's making me lose my mind in a really good way.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm so excited.
And it's less about the production. It's more that it's, you know, one of my favorite bands just released a masterpiece, and I need to share it with the world. But so I figure we'll put that back to you guys at the end, and then we can. I definitely, first of all, 2 things. First of all, I would happily do this again. This has been a blast.
Oh, hell yeah.
I would, if you want more long-haired fucking music producer who's obsessed with metal and weird prog shit, listens to K-pop, I will happily do this again. This is a blast.
As long as you've been enjoying it, I would love to do this again, and I definitely am down to do the reverse as well. I'd love to hear what you have to throw at me as well.
Yeah, like the way that I've been thinking about and the way I want to approach it is that it wouldn't be a specific genre so much as it would be, here's some cool production kind of happening all over the world. Here's some indie artists that are doing some really cool shit musically. Like, some would be about the production, some would be about the music, some of it would just be, hey, you want to hear something really fucking weird? I want to throw some weirdo shit at you too, because I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I already have like a mini list formulating too for next time too, of like, I think based on what we did tonight, like Salt might like this, or let's just listen to some really weird K-pop shit and see what you have to say. But
amazing, I'm super down. Chat, how you all been feeling? How have you been enjoying this? I hope you guys have been enjoying it as much as I have, and I hope I haven't dunked too hard on anything or had too many blasphemous things to say.
I know, sorry, it's been a little hard to keep up with chat, just like y'all have been having your own conversations too, which is awesome. So I hope you guys have been enjoying this. Is this something you guys would want to see again? Like, if we did like a part 2 of K-pop? I mean, regardless, we're doing a part 2 where Assault shows me some of his favorites, but
hell yeah. I've passed the vibe check. Thank you. I'm glad I passed the vibe check. Big love.
I hope you already know I came up with a name for the podcast y'all are starting. What's the name, Darth? Let's hear it. By Orange Caramel. Oh my gosh, Miji. This is the greatest stream I've ever been to. I agree. Salt has really like made this amazing.
I mean, it wouldn't be amazing without all the work you did. So thank you for all the work that you've done. Granular listening. Oh man, that's true. That's true. We got grains of sand, grains of salt.
Oh my gosh, wait. Yeah, that's a good one, Pella. Wait.
I like that.
One day I'll hit partner and I'll make that team. I think that I talked to Salt about like 2 years ago at this point of just the elements. You have to be like salt or sand or some kind of like
can we just make a
refined thing.
Can we just make an unofficial stream team? Fuck hitting partner.
I'm here for it. Yeah, let's do it.
Can we just make? Let's do it.
I mean, it's really just you and me anyway. So.
Hey, you know what? It'd be you and me and whoever the hell else we decide to recruit.
True. The wave,
because beaches have waves and beaches is sand and waves have salt in them, but also the music made of sound waves. Darth, you're cute.
That's a good one, actually.
I love this.
Well, we have some options if we ever decide to start a podcast, just chatting about different types of music.
I mean, if the podcast is you and I just sitting down and just talking shit about music, that I don't know if that's really just a podcast. Or
I think that's just us having a normal conveison. We normally just hijack Wiki's chat, I think, during our streams.
It's just a recorded hangout session. I'd like to be in this unofficial team, please. Okay, cool. We'll start the sign-ups.
Hi,
we'll
Ego.
start the sign-ups soon. Also, Ego, good to see you.
My literal special interest with people in chat who also love K-pop with most insightful conversation about music I've been adjacent to. It has been fun, especially with the people, because there are a lot of like friends in chat that know K-pop and are big K-pop fans, but there's a lot of people that don't have any idea, and I think we've had some really cool conversations like from everyone.
Yeah, I think the most important thing, and I really hope this comes across, is like, the most important thing when it comes to experiencing genres of music, and part of the reason why I said yes to this unequivocally, is the moment you say no to any genre of music, the only person you're actually harming is yourself artistically, right? I used to be a, no country, no pop kid when I was in high school. I'm like, I hate pop music, I hate country music. And then I realized, no, that's absolutely wrong. I love country music. I just wasn't vibing with the country music I'd heard. And I love pop music. I just had a very narrow-minded idea of what it meant for music to be pop, right? And I think if there's, a lesson I want to imbue to everybody, and it's a lesson that I try to imbue on myself, is take a risk, listen to something. Again, I said it before, but listen to something that makes you uncomfortable. Yeah. Challenge yourself and sit in it, and then find the version of it that you do like. Whenever somebody says they don't like metal, I say that's not true. You just haven't found the metal that vibes with you. But I bet you take enough time, you will. And this is the same with hip hop. That's the same with country. Same with pop. The same with any international music scene, right?
Yeah.
You'll find your artist. You just got to go digging. But it's there.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I was having this conversation with someone at work the other day because they were like, just getting to know each other. Like, what kind of music do you listen to? And I was like, I listen to everything. Like, I listen to a little bit of everything. Do I like everything? No, but I listen to everything. Like, if someone recommends me something, like, you might as well give it a shot. Like, there's the worst thing that can happen is you don't like it. So you might as well just try it and see. You're never going to know what you do and don't like musically unless you listen to it. And even then you might find elements of, hey, I really like that piano. Is there something in this genre that kind of has that vibe or that energy? Or even like bands themselves have like 3 or 4 different facets to themselves, especially when you're getting into like prog and metal and punk. Like,
yeah, absolutely. And eras too. When you have a band, especially if you have bands that have been around for a while, the way they sounded 10 years ago and the way they sound today, if they still sound the same,
there's an issue.
That's for the most part a concern, unless they're AC/DC, in which they only needed to write one album and then they just wrote that same album for 45 years.
I think that's when we were talking about Muse too, of like how excited we were when they came back to like their older sounds, like with their newest album or their latest release, I should say. But they've been through so many eras. Like each album of their own is just a completely different sound, in my opinion. There's elements, obviously, like you can listen to any song from any of their albums and be like, that's a Muse song. But each era has its own unique sound on top of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you mean Rise Against?
Sarah, okay, hang on. I have a specific Rise Against story. Before we get back to this, I just want to talk about this for a hot second. So I love Rise Against. I'm going to preface this by saying I love Rise Against. But in my opinion, it is aggressively, painfully obvious who their like number one musical influence is. And as soon as I say it, if you've never thought about it, your brain's going to blow open. The band that they are most musically influenced by, whether they realize it or not, is The Offspring.
Oh,
Think about it.
interesting. Yeah.
Think about it for a second, especially Americana era Offspring. Like if you listen to Americana by The Offspring, that album from start to finish, and then you listen to Rise Against, and you go, oh, this was the album that inspired Rise Against to even exist as a band.
Yeah.
Now the reason why I tell this story is because so Rise Against obviously has their song Savior, banger track, banger song. Everybody who likes fucking Rise Against loves Savior because it's one of their best songs. So in a beautiful world of everything old is new again and everything new is old, later on there's an album by The Offspring with a song called The Future Is Now. And I want everybody to listen to the song The Future Is Now by The Offspring and then listen to Savior, because almost note for note, beat for beat, including where the breakdown happens in the song, The Offspring just accidentally rewrote Savior, except it's The Offspring doing it. And it's this weird moment of Offspring influenced Rise Against, who had a whole fucking incredible career. And then Rise Against's career ended up inspiring The Offspring on a song. And there's no way that line didn't happen. And it's this weird thing of a band that inspired one band ended up inspiring them back, and this crazy through line. So like, it's funny that you mentioned like Rise Against just in terms of like bands that like clearly have a specific inspiration, and just like changing their sound over time and stuff like that. But what I also find super, super interesting is when inspiration becomes inspired throughout careers and musical history. So everybody in here, and this is not a show, this is not a call out either. I love The Offspring. I love that song. I love Rise Against. But it's so fascinating that Rise Against is so clearly influenced by The Offspring, and The Offspring basically turned around and rewrote Savior. And I guarantee you, when you listen to the song The Future Is Now, you'll hear it immediately and you're going to go, Salt is right. And if you're watching this on the YouTube video later on, type Salt is right in chat if you did your homework. Let's finish some K-pop.
Oh, that's so good. I am gonna have to go look that up later.
That might be the hottest take of the night.
My business because of its massive scope
plus
for functionality
plus.
and freedom.
Oh, okay. This is a good one. This is a fun one. This is a really recent one. It came out.
Wiki, did you already go listen? Sorry, Wiki, did you already go listen? I just want to say I've had been Rise Against many a time. Remember hearing them for the first time in a decade. I was like, this sounds like they wrote it a decade ago. Absolutely. All right. Sorry.
Okay.
New song. This song is...
This is called EENIE, MEENIE. So this is by an artist called CHUNG. And she is our gay icon as well. She's not out, but this is for the gays, this song.
Perfect.
Hongjoong is also on it. So also, again, for the gays. If you ever hear Wiki making that joke of Little Shorty in Blue, talking about him.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is that guy.
Wait, this song is for queer people?
Yes, yeah. You might not understand it. Sorry. I think it's a little out of your wheelhouse.
Well, I'll do my best. I will do my best as the very obvious token straight. Carry on.
We're also getting back into the self-produced category. So Chungha and Hongjoong wrote and produced the song together. I think they had another writer and another producer on it, but the two of them are kind of like the main ones. But yeah, it's a very cool song. Literally just came out like less than a month ago. So
ooh, we got fresh K-pop.
Fresh K-pop.
Okay.
I got tips for you. 모르겠니 what to choose. 아무거나 골라도 돼. calendar make a move. I realized.
All right, the fashion is real.
정답 따윈 없으니까.
And the upright bass sample is delicious.
Like a drum beat here too. It's just the old school sound.
Just pick 'em out like.
This is very 90s sample style.
Meenie, mighty. Like any, mini, mighty, mo.
Oh my god, this is so 90s coded.
Like EENIE, MEENIE, mighty mo. You're in the past. 그럴 시간 없어 난. Ladies, we keep it moving. 후회 없이 걸어가. Cause I'm feeling at my best. I ain't taking no less than every kind of flavor of a new sensation. I'm taking dabs, so I wanna lose my mind to the rhythm of a new vibration. Just pick 'em out like
oh yeah.
Meenie mighty. Like EENIE, MEENIE, mighty mo.
I think we have K-pop Janelle Monáe.
I think we do too.
Meenie mighty.
The skin is flawless. I need a routine.
Like EENIE, MEENIE, mighty mo.
Literally, all of their skin is just fantastic.
Like EENIE,
I love this production.
많이 훅 지나간다 타밍도 어버버버 할 시간에 찍어 마침표 문제 놓고 자꾸 답답하겠지 또 우린 외수에도 할땐 한건하지 말걸 Slow birthday when nothing's 나는 nothing out of my day From birthday not us like me 지금 이 기분의 느낌이 저기 지득기를 다
I know what I like Every step I take no doubt I just pick 'em out like Watch me pick 'em out like EENIE, MEENIE 이리저리 골라대지 like EENIE, mighty Better know what you like, I'll make it easy MEENIE, mighty, mo Watch me pick 'em out like EENIE, MEENIE 이리저리 골라대지 like EENIE, mighty Better know what you like, I'll make it easy EENIE, MEENIE, mighty, mo
Amazing sample work.
Like EENIE, MEENIE, mighty mo
Yo, that was so okay. The beat chopping,
yeah,
the fucking sampling old school classic instruments, like loving the stand up, the fucking double bass.
Yeah.
And they stuck with it the whole time. Like they enhance it a little bit, but that's the centerpiece of that bass line. And so it gives this really classy vibe, but it also has that super 90s hip hop kind of drum groove in there. And those really, really cool bendy lead strings that they're distorting. Just first of all, the instrumental on this is definitely one of the coolest instrumentals just in terms of their approach to it. And their way of chopping it. That was fantastic. Vocally was super fun too. The video produced I loved the snap cuts between the choreography and the different outfits and landing it so nicely.
One of my favorite shots, I wonder if I can find it.
The twang twangs, Sarah, 100% the twang twangs.
Where's the best spot for it? It's when they're like out in the garage area, like in the back. Yeah, like here. It's so cool.
Like EENIE, MEENIE, mighty.
Oh, I got it right.
Yeah.
Let's pick 'em out like.
Yeah. Like it's fun to watch. Like here, if you can see my mouse.
Yeah.
Like just how they're actually like changing. That's really sick. Yeah.
Like EENIE, MEENIE, mighty.
But that's probably one of my favorite parts
clever.
there. Yeah.
It's very, very clever. And just I was saying, I'm like, this is very Janelle Monáe coded to me.
Oh, 100%.
And that's huge. And that's another artist, if there's anyone in here that doesn't listen to Janelle Monáe. Fucking do it. Incredible.
I'm too busy being extremely respectful.
Yeah, that was absolute heat from start to finish. That's up in my top 3 or 4 as well.
And for those of you that don't know, like how long, Salt and I have been talking about this for a while, and then just planning wise with both of our schedules, it just happened to be this week that we were able to schedule it for. But we've been talking about it for, I would say, like around a month, maybe over a month. And I remember February. I had like a whole different list of things like ready to go for this. And I remember this song came out and I was like, I have to add it. Like I have to have Salt listen to this just purely because of the samples.
That was super slick. That was a great track. That's a barn burner. I love that.
Hell yeah. All right, well, we're off to our last one, and I believe this is the Wiki special.
Ooh,
So we're ending on the Wiki special.
Local tax expert and
Awesome.
And get your taxes done April 15th if you're in the US.
Plus, you can
remember, the government knows how much you owe in taxes, but they want you to tell them, and if you guess wrong, you go to jail.
True. Yeah, so get it right. What about my genius rack earlier? Oh, I can't do that to Salt. I really cannot do that to Salt. I really can't do that to Salt. Or to anybody watching.
I mean, if you want to do a version of this where you send me shit shows, I'm down for that, but I will tear it apart.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can add this in if you have time. We can add in the shit show, like this singular shit show. I'm just so curious. This one got such... It's an ad. Like, that's how bad it is. It's a song that's an ad for Coca-Cola.
Cool.
So it's
cool.
like...
I love that.
We'll take a look after that. Yeah, after this, we'll take a look into that one. And then I think we should have time for you to show me that one, like the one that you had.
Yeah.
So...
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a JYP one. But
so this was a specific request from Wiki?
Yes. I was talking to Wiki and I was like, I have 9 songs at the time, and then we ended up with 11. I have 9 songs. I need a 10th one. What should I pick? Like, I'm trying to find some cool songs to show Salt. And she said, this one just came out like 8 days ago. So this is hot off the press.
This is super hot fresh. Let's
go. She was talking about Luna earlier. Some of the girls from Luna are in this group. I listened to it. The video's cool. The song is cool. It's just got a cool vibe. Very different from pretty much everything else we've listened to today. So
incredible. I mean, if this came out 7 days ago, I could actually have like a hot take K-pop video.
Yeah, I know you really could have. We'll have to plan it better next time. Yeah.
We'll have to do it. Yeah. Let's do it. Okay, I'm already intrigued by this video. Okay. Okay. All right.
I could get your ex-boyfriends. 너를 찾는 광고 fly.
Okay.
너에겐 난 독백. I've been rolling down my sleeping. I could make a better future. 잠에서 깬 내일부터 꺼진 미소로 난 탄생. 선물 속에 너 잊혀질게 널 떠나줄게 거짓말이늘어만 가 lie Fake it all 청순한 네 얼굴 거울 속 나를 봐 Fake it all 어떤 게 진짜인지 Everything is yours I could get your ex-boyfriend
Holy shit
너를 찾는 광고 flyer 선망 속에
This is fucking wild.
Yeah. And this is a total 180 from the single that they released in the album before this. Total 180.
이건 축복이야 미워해줘
What? Yo, okay. That is
as soon as like he sent that to me, I was like, this is the perfect ending.
Okay. Wow. So a ton of thoughts. First of all,
Zero must see is what I'm seeing from Pella and Mikey over and over.
Yes. This might be, if there was going to be a track that would get Azura to be like, okay, this is the one. So first things first, this track stays at such a like funeral dirge BPM. It is so slow and haunting and melancholic and tragic. Like, it's a sad song. And it just channels that darkness in a way that like I did not expect to see in K-pop. And so that is huge in and of itself. The production work, the way that they're using what I would call horror Hollywood tropes in their music was really fascinating. The stuttering like risers that chop as it's building tension, the super creepy like high end like high frequency noises. No, it's and as Mikey just said in chat, it's absolutely beautiful too. Like, there's a haunting beauty in it, and I think like there is a haunting beauty. This is gothic horror, and there's beauty in the gothic of it, right? But then to get into like a moment of like drum and bass in the center of that, like that energy pickup in the center, and then just to like pull that energy, like you build, you're like okay, and then pulling it back again. It feels like all the air gets pulled out of your lungs musically. And that's not a bad thing. For the effect, like that sounds like a bad thing, but for the effect that they're trying to pull, that's so powerful. Artistically, I think this is the strongest song of the entire night.
Yeah.
In terms of artistic vision and execution of artistic vision, and they went in with a clear intent sonically, orally, right? And they just fully executed on it. That is like, it's like from a pure like performance perspective, that was fucking unreal.
And I think
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think part of it too is like if you understood like the context of like them as a group too. I can't fully explain it. I'm sure Wiki knows much more than me, but I feel like the video itself is kind of showing like the idea of birth through a funeral. Like that's like the vibe I'm getting. And they were
right?
like I had mentioned like in Luna before, that was just a shit show, a dumpster fire that they had to sue their old company to get out of their contracts for. Like it was a whole thing, and some of them never even got out of their contracts. Like they had to stay in court for several months, I think almost like a year, just fighting. And this is them doing their own thing finally, like a year and a half later, reclaiming. So I think there's something like beautiful in that too, to see that relation. Phone me in, coach. You're welcome to pop in here, Wiki. We'll bring you in and call you if you want to come and explain Luna, but I just wanted to bring up a little bit there so you had some context.
Yeah, so like I feel like I should preface that like slow tracks are a tough sell for me just in general. I'm not a big slow
I'm the
jam
same way. Yeah.
Time. So to end on a slow track and have that level of bombast, I would have to think on a little bit more. Would I say that this was the best song of the night? I'm still not sure. Superhuman is up there. Don't Call Me was up there too. NMIXX. If I was to pick off the top of my head, my top four, and I couldn't order it right off the top, but my top four would be Superhuman, Don't Call Me, the NMIXX track, and this one. Right behind that as well, like is this Bad Bitch Number, I think was what it was called. That was like the truth of the matter is like this tonight had no real slouches. The only one that was a slouch for me, frankly, was Punch. Compared to the rest of this list, Punch didn't. It was kind of a weak left punch, but the rest of this was fire all the way through. That I have to give so much respect to this last track, just for the sheer audacity of it. I'm curious to see it's only 8 days out. I'm curious to see what the reaction has been.
Yeah, I actually haven't looked too much into it, so I couldn't tell you, because this isn't a group that I listen to a lot of. It's a group that Wiki and Wiki's husband really like. So, Mr. and like, Mrs. Bastard.
Yeah, and like, to be clear, when I'm ranking these, it's not because I'm like, this is good, this is bad. I thoroughly enjoyed everything I listened to. I honestly, like, again, the Punch song I could leave. The rest of them, I would listen to them all.
Right,
again,
they all have pros and cons. Yeah, that we've talked about.
But for me, for my personal tastes, right, like, the thing, I love boldness, I love uniqueness, I love challenging the status quo, and this had that in spades. This is an incredible showstopper to end on, and I think it's cool too that it's also the most recent song that came out, because it's kind of indicating, whether it's true or not, but it's indicating where K-pop is right now, right?
Yeah.
And you're seeing that room for experimentation, especially with like Stray Kids blooming and blossoming and coming out of it their own way, and these guys coming out of all these legal situations and now making it their own. And so I think maybe this is something weird to say as an outsider, but even from this little sampler, the vibe that I'm getting from this is that K-pop is starting to reach a world that Western pop started to reach, which is the power of going viral. The virality of your music can beat a label, and no matter how powerful labels are, the people want what the people want, right? And if something like this blows up and garners good responses, that can totally shake up an industry, right? Yeah. Because when the industry says this, and this is what sells, and then somebody shows up with something completely outside of that, and they get millions of listens, the door gets wide open. So I think that's a beautiful sign, and I love that a lot.
Yeah, and Gibbs said something too that I think kind of goes along with it, that made me think of it, is K-pop is such a wide and generic label for all this music, and I feel like we could have a follow up about that topic. Very true. Something I struggled with was what is K-pop when I was trying to make this playlist, because there were so many other things I wanted to throw in there for you, like Day 6, for example, which is a band, a K band that I really like, which is signed to JYP, which is a K-pop label, but they're not necessarily K-pop. Or you talk about K-indie music that I listen to a lot of, which is really great, but is that K-pop? And I feel like, especially in Western societies, we get K-pop as this umbrella term, and we think BTS, Blackpink, they're big singles that hit the radio waves, top 40 hits, which aren't bad songs, but I don't think it's indicative of K-pop as an industry as a whole nowadays, which I think is what we were kind of getting into by listening to all this music, because a lot of this was more recent stuff within the past 5 years or so. I don't think that listening to those are indicative,
100%. And I think, to get political for a hot second, here's another hot take for you all. But I think I think unfortunately there's a certain amount where K-pop is, even as its own thing, it's still being scrutinized under a Western lens, right?
100%.
The very name K-pop in and of itself is an othering title, right?
Yeah.
In and of the very, very name of the genre, it is just music from Korea. It is K-pop, right? And so when you have such a wide umbrella, of course it's all going to sound different. And they're doing that because, that's how you survive in a Western dominated media world. There's a certain amount of, okay, we're going to consolidate to survive, and that's how we build the industry. But the truth of the matter is like, K-pop isn't one sound, just like pop isn't one sound, right?
Yeah.
Like Western pop music isn't one sound. And what defines as Western pop music changes decade over decade, year over year. So too does K-pop. And I think that's such an important thing to kind of talk about here, is there are so many people outside of this world that have a one-dimensional view of an entire country's music industry and modern music culture. And that is extremely limiting and restraining. And tonight, I think the best thing that I took away from this, right, is just what you think you don't.
Yeah.
And this was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed this tonight. I think this was an amazing showcase of artists. Good, bad, otherwise, I think all of this was great. And
don't worry. Do you want to see bad? I'll get bad pulled up while we're finishing up your thought here. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like that. I think the lesson here, and I hope if anyone takes this away that's not a K-pop fan that's watching this as well, is what you. Oh, great! Speaking of horrible corporations, but I think the final lesson that really should be taken away here is just there's so much more. It's so much bigger. And you're hurting yourself by not digging. It's exactly what I said about the genres that I love. But you're hurting yourself when you're not digging. And so dig in. And I'm I really enjoyed this. And I'm very, very excited to learn more and see more.
Well, I'm so glad that you had such an open mind coming in and actually enjoyed all of the music. I was definitely worried that we were all going to show you this music and you're gonna be like, it's fine. But to hear you like genuinely enjoy like most of it, I would say it was definitely like very nice to hear.
Yeah, like the short and long of it is there are tracks that we listened to tonight that I would 100% playlist, and there are tracks tonight that even if they aren't songs that I would necessarily actively seek out and playlist myself, if I heard them, they're back, right? Yeah, and but there are definitely tracks tonight that are going to go on playlists for me because this was
hell yeah.
I really love this tonight. This was super fun.
So I decided to change it up. I'm not going to show the other one. We're going to watch this one instead. Mostly because I don't want to give money to the other one with everything going on over in Palestine right now.
Okay.
This one equally as bad, if not worse. This is JYP. So JYP is one of the big four labels. Stray Kids and NMIXX are signed to them. JYP is the guy who started it. Somehow this is worse.
So this is the guy who started the label?
Yes.
We do love a man with unfettered control. Let's see how this goes.
Sure is something. Unironically, I enjoy the song itself. The music video, it's an experience.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's just say this man is like in his 50s. I think he's pushing 60.
Damn.
And this came out, I think, last year, so it's pretty recent. The auto-tune gets me every time. Oh yeah, true. He is a pastor.
This music video brought to you by Expedia.ca.
Let me open your eyes and let you feel this groove I have for you.
It's the dance.
Wow.
Gotta get that groove back.
Wonderful.
Gotta get that groove back. Gotta get that soul back.
Don't worry, I did it for us. He does have different hair color for each of these.
I can't believe they 3D printed a Yakuza side character and gave him a music career.
Literally. Also, I have that same bass the guy has in the background, and every time he speaks, they laugh. Someone take his groove away.
They're not listening because it's mid, buddy.
And let you feel this groove I have for you. Gotta get that groove back.
This dance, holy shit.
Gotta get that groove back.
The best part about this, I remember when the song came out, he forced every group in his label to do this as a dance challenge with him, like for TikTok and YouTube. These K-pop idols that just look like they hate their lives having to dance this stupid dance.
This man was cleaning out his basement and found his old 80s jazzercise videos and said, I know what I must do.
Gotta get that soul back.
Well, that was one of the dances of all time.
Yeah.
Somebody please tell him he does not have his groove back. I see why he's asking for it, because he clearly fucking lost it about 3 decades ago. Bro.
Oh, there we go. We go back to ARTMS. Yeah, I know. Sorry, we had to end on this note. I had to ensure we ended on a note for sure, but
I mean, it was pretty one note, so that is correct.
We need a palate cleanser. Saul has a song for us, and I don't think he would do us dirty for the end of the night.
I got a track that's not a K-pop song. We'll get to that in a second, but first let me dunk on this a little bit.
Yeah, go, please.
So if I can compliment anything, I will compliment the backup dancer's patience and ability to not crack a laugh while doing the dance in the background. I will compliment all the sponsors who just made bank off of this chuckle fuck. I will compliment the baseline. The baseline was fun, but that's about it. I will compliment the audacity one must have to fucking take half of a Psy dance and somehow phone it in to only be a quarter of a Psy dance. At least when Psy makes a really, really dumb dance move, he puts his whole fucking ass into it and he gives it 1,000%.
True.
You know what? Psy fucking pretended to ride horses like a jackass, but he did it so fucking well that the whole world wanted to do it. If JY,
I think you're doing a disservice to Psy by comparing him to JYP right now.
No, and that's fair. I am, because Psy's a fucking genius. The point I'm trying to make is Psy went, this is dumb, so I'm going to give it 1,000%, and that's how you sell it. If you're going to have like a fucking slick little, like, you're going to fucking stand up and give me one of these like, ooh, fucking jazzercise, like, come on, buddy. Come on. After a night of like some of the most ungodly fucking choreography of the night, people on his own fucking label building out these incredible complex lines with super transitions, and you bought 3 fucking drones, flew them over 10 different cities to do the same fucking waddle. Come on, buddy. You're only embarrassing yourself. Just go back to owning the record label, stop producing music, and just let other people give you money, because clearly that's all you have left. But yeah, all that said, Sand, thank you so much for having me on tonight.
Yeah.
This was a blast.
Thank you for coming. I had such a great time too. Do you want to give one last plug for your channel, for your music?
Yeah, sure. So once again, I'm Salt, but you'll find me on everything as the true Salt King. I stream, I'm a variety streamer on Twitch, and I also stream on YouTube. So come check it out. We mostly do first playthroughs, although the next game that I'm about to start, I'm returning to Hollow Knight for the first time in over 4 years, and we're committing to a full 112% playthrough, so we're clearing everything in the game. It's going to take me a while. It's going to be a great time, though. And when I'm not streaming on Twitch, you can check out my music as Sonderlust. The Bandcamp is there, but if you search Sonderlust on basically any streaming site, program, even the shitty one, you will find me, and you can listen to me. Please just enjoy it. I'm not trying to make money. I just want people to enjoy the music I make. And yeah, that's it. You can follow me on socials if you want. I mostly shitpost, but please do. But yeah, come see a stream, come listen to the music. I'd love to have you around. And again, Sam, thank you so much for having me. This was
Have a good night. Thank you for coming on. I'm so glad that we got to do this, and hopefully we'll be able to do part 2 with you showing me whatever madness you decide to show. And it sounds like this is going to turn into a more regular thing anyways, so I'm definitely down for that. Yeah.
I would love it. You've set the bar high here. I want to bring my A game. My goal is to not only bring you really cool stuff, I want to give you some weirdo stuff too, but I want to show you some cool stuff that I can't get out of my head, and stuff that's made my brain go burr over the years. So I'm excited to do that on round 2.